I'm International Passport, here again for yet another classic. It's been three classics in a row, from straight from Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I want to thank everyone who has participated in the live stream so far. So much thanks to Theo and the panel guest members who were part of the conversation yesterday and on Friday. If you're a new subscriber, thank you very much for subscribing. Your views, your intellect is much appreciated on my channel. If you're an old subscriber, thank you so much for your support throughout the years. This is still a growing movement, so I need everyone's support to push out my videos. So in the meantime, please hit the like button on this video and we'll get straight into it. So let me read through the comments very quickly. So let's see. Yep, shout out to Theo, too legit to quit. Yeah, bro, don't quit giving intel, bro. We need your intel. NTech1 says, can you still do information about Japanese women? No, bro. This is a Eastern European show. I did 4 hours of Japanese women yesterday. That should be enough. But down the line, I might speak to Theo again regarding Japanese women for more intel, and we'll set that up in the future. But today, it's strictly only Eastern European women. Good evening to you too, Charles Jones. Yep, so let's get into it. So Theo WAF, how are you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. I had a good night. I enjoyed yesterday. And actually today, when we were talking on Twitter, I was in a cafe and I was actually putting some outlines together about what my recommendations are for this. And I've actually helped a few American men marry women from Ukraine and Russia. So I do have some real good advice, some good pointers, and things have definitely changed in the last 30 years regarding how to deal with Slavic women. So I'm going to give some really good insights about how to get in there.
That is fantastic. That is much appreciated, bro. The videos I'm putting out, I'm hearing that it's saving a lot of brothers' lives. It's getting brothers to stay on their purpose, and I'm happy it's supporting them and keeping them within a clear mindset. So I'm gonna get straight into it. Okay. So Theo, what Eastern European countries have you traveled to so far?
So I lived 1 year in Russia, and I've been to Ukraine many times. In fact, I returned to Russia also many times. Additionally to this, I was a Russian studies major in undergrad. And then my second time I went to grad school, I studied Russian and East European studies. So my focus was on Ukraine and how to stop corruption. And in undergrad, it was on transitional economies.
That is awesome. Wow. Okay. So tell us more about your I'm gonna get straight into it. Woman. All right, so I'm gonna break it down between Russia and Ukraine women. Tell us about your experience with Russian women in Russia. Are they checking for brothers? And yeah, we'll start from there first.
Okay, so you need to be a little more careful with Russian women now compared to when I was there. So my first girlfriend I had when I was 20 years old was in Russia, was in St. Petersburg when I was an exchange student. And dating her was actually very easy. So generally speaking, I'm going to try to put this framework first for Slavic women. There are 3 types of Slavic women regarding international dating. The first type, she thinks that only Slavic women should only date Slavic men, or Slavs only with Slavs. That woman is not available to you.
Mm-hmm.
The second woman is Slavic women can date Western European or Eastern European, but that's it. Okay, so in that case, you might actually qualify, but an American would not. And then the third one is a woman is like, hey, anyone who loves me, that's good. Take me out. I'm ready. So that third area is where I dated when I was in St. Petersburg. And those girls tended to make themselves available to me. They tended to self-identify and come out and say, hey, I'm here. And this happened not only to me, but it happened to other American men in the group. So it was pretty fun. They didn't care that I was Black. They didn't care that I was foreigner. They were very interested in me. and very happy to have a date. Now, in today's world, I would recommend, I guess this particularly for brothers who are listening, be wary of women from Moscow. They tend to be predatory.
Damn.
And you can date someone from St. Petersburg, but have your eyes open, because they tend to be able to finesse you, whereas Moscow women will super finesse you.
Oh,
Yeah.
in what ways? Like using you for money, telling you
Yeah.
to buy all this stuff for her? Wow.
Yes, and they are aware that they're beautiful, and that's kind of a problem, because if you're trying to make a family and she's trying to get top, like she puts herself on the international market, she's trying to get top value for herself, she can go quite long. And so you're trying to woo her, it might take years, and you're like, hey, I'm out of it. You don't have the money, like you start getting exasperated in terms of cash and time, so you want to go for someplace else. Now, that being stated, there is this wonderful large area called Siberia, and the girls from there,
Wow.
if you are able to talk with them online, or you're able to, I'm going to explain this, okay, go get some more points, or if you're able to meet them in Moscow or St. Petersburg, those girls are the bomb. And the guys who I helped get married to Russian women in the last 10 years, they all came from Siberia.
Oh, okay. So, okay. That was a lot to package. So, two questions for you now, Theo. So you're saying avoid women from St. Petersburg and from Moscow. So what areas in Russia should brothers date Russian women from? You know, what other areas that should brothers consider dating Russian women apart from Moscow and sorry, excluding Moscow and St. Petersburg. So one of it is Siberia. What else?
Yeah, so like for example, the guy could actually live in Moscow or go to St. Petersburg, but look for women from the countryside.
Okay.
That would be a smart tactic. Now, there's also Tula, Novosibirsk. There's various small towns throughout Siberia with like 100,000 to 500,000 people. They tend to be just fine. Also, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan. Those are for me. Those are considered to still be Russia, even though they're not. But I consider it to be. You have this interesting mix of half Russian and half Mongol, or like kind of half Arab. They have this exotic blend, and those girls have no problem dealing with a black guy.
Oh,
As long as you're not a jerk, they'll say like, "Hey, you want to go out?" They're like, "Yeah, let's go out."
okay, brother. Wow. Okay. So are you recommending that brothers should travel to Russia, or should we try to meet Russian women in America, in the UK, or is it go straight to Russia, go to those regions to meet women there? Is that what you're saying, brother?
Okay, so you need this is where it becomes more difficult. Okay, so there is a social media called VK.com, and VK is Russia's Facebook. And so a lot of the women are on there, and they're actually talking. This is one place where you actually need to go in there and look around to see what the women are doing. So if you meet a Russian woman in, like, say, London or New York or Miami, she definitely has a VK. You need to go there and see how many followers she has. If she has like thousands and thousands of followers, and she happens to have a Instagram that has tens of thousands, no go. She already knows her value. She's a predator. Leave her alone. But if you find there's certain groups you can actually kind of date around in there. I've played around with it over the last 10 years, and you can actually start meeting girls through there. And I had a friend who actually met a girl on VK. She was from the countryside. He went to Moscow, met her. 6 months later, they were married.
This is crazy. Okay, brother. So tell us more. So from what I heard so far, Siberia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, those are three regions brothers should go to meet Russian women. But
Yep.
tell us more about Siberia, because I have seen some Siberian women and they look gorgeous, right? So you're telling me, right, women from Siberia, women from Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, they're all checking for brothers.
They're checking for anyone. I was just saying they're open for a brother. Yeah, they're definitely open for a brother, and a lot of these women have curves. That's what I really like about them. They have very exotic looks, and I date them like when I was in St. Petersburg. The one woman, there were two women that I was actually dating. One was from St. Petersburg, and another one was from Siberia. And the one from Siberia just had, I mean, she was like a pre Kim Kardashian.
Damn.
She had hips, and like, let's just say that she could definitely feed a baby. Yeah, it was some good stuff there. She was gorgeous, and she wasn't pale white. I mean, there was some ethnic color in her. I really like that. So it, generally speaking, like, the woman will make herself available in that kind of environment. Siberia is actually more open now. You can actually go there. I'm actually looking at trying to look at some maps of Siberia and where I've recommended people. I remember Tula, Omsk. Omsk is a good place.
Can you type it in the comment section? So, because
Sure.
it's hard for us to understand what you're saying in Russian, but definitely type those regions down.
Novosibirsk.
Okay.
That's another one. Omsk. I helped two Americans marry women from Omsk. The capital of Kazakhstan, I forgot what it's called. But yeah, I helped guys marry Russian women from there too, and they tend to be very traditional, very good values. Now, the only problem with this area is like you really want to go there in the winter. You want to go there in the summer, avoid the winter.
Okay.
Because it's utterly freezing. So I went there when I was a student in the winter, and woo boy, yeah, it cold.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're not gonna want that, but in the summer it's really beautiful. So you could go there like for 2 months. Just say you want to go on vacation or something like that. It's really cheap. It's just a really good cheap price. It's not that hard to get a visa. You can go there and just chill out you're not gonna be able to work. Forget that. But you can go there and live in a decent hotel or decent apartment, and go out and talk to people, and the girls will talk to you.
Damn. Okay, this is wonderful. And all the women there, they speak English.
No, but they will. Like, if they see you, they'll try to talk with you. So you can get it if you really want to. You can get a translator to be there for you for $20, you can get an entire evening for a translator. I speak in Russian, so I'm able to deal with that. You do need the countryside girls, you do need to have some Russian, but the ones that are interested in you, like they're due international, they tend to speak English. So it's not going to be as bad. You'll have some help.
This is awesome. You mentioned how you said you helped your friends marry some Russian women. So what do you mean you helped them? Did you know these women and they were looking for men to marry, or did you go to Russia, and how did you actually facilitate such an action, brother?
So I told some of them were white and some of them were black, both of them. They were first interested in Russian women or Ukrainian. So I give them advice. And then they went to VK, they went to various social sites, and they actually met through various methods, met some women online, and they're doing some webcam chats. And they asked me, how do I talk with her? How do I deal with it? And then I gave them advice about how to do level setting and how their thinking has to be towards Russian women. And basically, if you don't have the right thinking towards them, you'll get slammed straight out. You have to be very careful with your thinking. So I'm sure you're like, okay, what is this thinking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, first off, no matter how good your house is, and no matter how bad their house is, like you could easily see they have like bad living conditions. you can never comment on it that they live in a bad condition.
I see.
And if you can go on Google and you can kind of figure out that their city isn't so prosperous, you can never say that their city or country isn't prosperous. Like, like I remember I was in St. Petersburg, and my first city I left from St. Petersburg was London, and London was infinitely richer than St. Petersburg. You can't say that. You can't make that kind of comment.
Yeah.
You have to be there and say your country is beautiful. Now, even if she says that her city is crap and her country is crap, you just sit there and say, well, tell me why, and tell me more about your people. Tell me more about your city. And you don't say anything negative. Nothing. The next one is you cannot say that communism is bad, because they grew up in a communistic system, and their friends and family grew up in one, and they have their own worldview that capitalism is bad, or that capitalism has a lot of flaws. And you need to be aware of that and not even talk about it. You just say, "Is great to work together," and it's really great that the Cold War is over, and I have this opportunity to meet you. Like, keep it positive the entire time. Do not come in with any sort of superiority to her, even if you are in a superior position. The next one thing you need to understand is that her family, friends, job, community, university, everything is there, and she loves them. And so she's not so interested in leaving, even if she wants to leave. She would rather just improve that environment and then get a husband, or maybe have a foreign husband be with her in that environment. That would be perfect for her. She doesn't want to go. Although she will go, in her heart she doesn't. As long as you recognize that, you can talk with her a lot more easily and not make a lot of faux pas. Like one of my American friends said, "Hey, look, I've got a better position for you. Your country is crap. Your job is crap, and you're never going to make it here in Russia." Well, he was gone like 10 minutes later. That's it. Block, gone.
Damn. Okay. So when you set up both of them, so I'm guessing from then they found a connection, and did those men move to Russia to marry and live with them, or did those females move to America to live and marry them?
They all came to America. And yeah, they all came to America. A few of the guys went to her to get her, and two of the women actually got scholarships in universities in America, and they came over here.
Wow. Okay. So brother, let me break down the avenues of actually communicating with Russian women from America and from the UK. VK.com. Are there any other sites that we can recommend?
VK is the best, just for random talking. You can still talk to them on Facebook. Don't go to letter paying sites, like pay per letter sites. Those tend to be all scams. So I actually have a few channels up there who are explaining scams. I've had problems with YouTube over the years. But I mean, where else? I mean, the other one is just to fly over there, and the easiest place to study Russian for a summer. Like, you get an easy visa to go do that, and like for a month or 2 months, and they'll set you up in a place say for $1,000, you get your got a small apartment with a refrigerator, with internet connection, and a bed. That's all you need. And from that point, all you need to do is go into the bar scene, actually, and cafes, opera, theater. That's where you're going to find a lot of single women.
Fantastic. Okay, brother. All right, staying on the Russian topic. So Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Siberia. Are there any other regions in Russia or cities in Russia that are good for brothers to meet a beautiful dime woman?
I'll say there's some gorgeous women in, Kazakhstan. That's it. That's a really good one. there is the conversation about Armenia and Azerbaijan, but I would rather talk about that in relation to Ukraine. But for Russian women themselves, like, yeah, there's this Siberia. They've got some real gems. And the big thing you want to do is, if you meet someone who's really great, you want to ask her about her family and whether or not she's close to her mother and father.
Hmm.
Even if they're divorced, you want to see if they're close to the father. If they are more likely to want to cleave to a man and really get married and really make kids. Another point to remember is that they are used to working because, of course, with the Soviet system and with World War II, a lot of the guys died. So there was a ratio at some points of one man for every 6 women. So the women had to work in order for the economy to prosper. So they have a culture of working, and if you're thinking about bringing them over, they will talk to you about working. I'll make some more points about that later on, but it's something you have to think about.
Okay, brother. All right. So my next question for you is how jealousy against black men. You know, people on average, people have heard about racism in Russia, and is that a concern towards black men, especially in Siberia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, these places where we can go to meet women, even Moscow, St. Petersburg? Should we be aware of racism towards brothers because Russian women are checking for brothers, or racism in general?
That's a great question. So they may look at you a little strange, but for the most part, they're not going to do anything. When it comes to real relations, if she's like, let's say, rather intimate relations, she might have trouble getting a guy later on. So will be a little bit concerned to make sure that if it's real, and if it's real, she's probably going to want you to take her out of the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you need to have that kind of conversation. So you basically need to be thinking like, is this girl good enough to marry? And if she is, okay, how do I bring her out? If you're not really interested in that, you might be doing more damage to the girl. I mean, you may not bring her to another area or another hotel, someplace else where her public doesn't see her.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and the real horrible one is if she has a biracial child and the man leaves, then she's in deep trouble.
Damn. Okay.
She can raise the child, but she will be labeled something for the rest of her life unless her culture improves.
Okay. Thanks for that intel, bro. Everyone, we've got 72 people watching this. I only see 30 likes. Can you please hit the like button? If you've just joined the stream, can you please hit the like button? Your likes will allow this video to be pushed out to other brothers who need this intel. In this community, we are all about sharing our resources to other brothers who need to know how women in other countries treat them. Okay, so I'm asking you to please hit the like button. The person who disliked this video, you are an absolute clown. So F you. But guys, please hit the like button. Thank you very much. Okay, brother. My next question for you is feminism. Is feminism a problem in Russia?
Okay, so I studied Russian feminism, to be honest, when I was an undergrad, and Russian feminists want the right to be able to stay at home and raise their kids. This is a point that they had always stated, and they were envious of women in the West that they had that option. So it was actually the opposite of Western feminism. And they like this idea of like this ideal of being at home with kids, and wouldn't that be great? For the most part, they don't have this option. Russian women are very, very feminine, and if they like you, they will be entirely submissive to you and will merge their entire soul to you. And this is where I say, like, don't be abusive in that environment, because you'll do real damage to her. but she'll really love you and take care of you and nurture you. And also, nothing that's a really big plus, these women can cook. Like, they can cook in a way that I just can't describe. So they are, I mean, full on feminine. They're going to wear like a mini skirt, a black dress like you've never seen before. They're going to be like hot. They have their cosmetics are going to be on point. The hair is going to be flowing and great. And if they like you, they're really going to go for you. Huh.
Carry on speaking,
Okay.
Theo. I'll be back. Give me 5 minutes.
No problem. So the women there, they really want to have this opportunity to be mothers ultimately. But a lot of them understand that being a mother isn't really going to be a possibility. So in that case, they prefer to marry a Slavic man, but they understand that Slavic men many times aren't a possibility, aren't really an option. So they wouldn't mind marrying a Western man. In many areas, particularly in Siberia, the ratio is still very much slanted against the women. So there's more women than men. And in these cases, it's if you're a Western guy, you definitely have an advantage, particularly a Western guy who has a job and has his act together. The women will kind of be happy to date you. That's what I found. You just have to, with Russian women, you need to be a little careful. They might be like, hey, sure, you're here and I can date you, but I can also date the sheik from the Middle East, or I could date Pierre, who has a mansion, like a real maison, like a real big one from Paris, or, this rich baron from Germany. So I have options. I don't have to just marry you, or I don't have to be with you. So in that case, that's not advantageous to you. But there's a lot of times if you're like, kind of a down low girl, a woman making between, say, $2,000 and $4,000 a month, she'd probably be, you see her in a relaxed environment. She'll be like, hey, I like to talk with you, and that's what she really says, and that's the way it works. You can actually have a real opportunity to date her. Hold on. Okay, I'll go ahead. I'm looking at the chat right now, so I'll go ahead and answer some questions. Charles, we're talking about Russia first, and then we're going to Ukraine. Ukraine is where I'm going to spill a lot of game. It's the thing about Russia and St. Petersburg, sorry, Moscow and St. Petersburg, is that like Moscow really, the women there are really like women in New York, and they're aggressive. So you need to be have some trepidation. Women in St. Petersburg are touch and go. They tend to be classier. They tend to be more feminine. And the opportunity to make a child with them or make a family with them is a bit higher. So if I go back to Russia, what I usually do is I just go to St. Petersburg because I already lived there for a year. Larry, the methods that I used to learn Russian were sitting down and studying Russian all the time, and same thing for Japanese. And then I was in university. It was my major in university, so I was going to class in Russian, and over the years I got good at it, and then I lived there for a year as an exchange student. No, I'm not getting anything. I help guys to get married because I saw what Western women did. And I was going to make this point real quick. When I was in Russia and I had my first girlfriend, I had my first date with her after I met her for a week. I met her in church, and we just started dating like quickly. And that's when I recognized that there was a problem in the United States with dating, because it was so easy. There wasn't any thought. There wasn't any like, what I should do this or do that. It was, hi Anna, how are you doing? I like being in church with you. How about we go to a Korean restaurant on Tuesday? And she said yes. It was done. Boom. And from there, I kept on dating her. When I came back to America after Russia, there were these girls who were trying to friend zone me again. And like a typical red pill, they were using me as the emotional tampon while they were getting smashed by the bad boys. And I dropped all of that. And I said, this is done. I'm done. The problem is the Western woman. If I have access to non-Western women, I'm going there. So that's what I've always, ever since then, I've always been trying to help guys, because Russian women and also other women in the world tend to choose not the bad boy, but the guy who is more solid. That actually gives me a lot of advantage. Irazarni, you want to talk to the Slavic women who not so westernized, but they speak English. And the more Russian you speak, the more opportunity that you have to meet women who are really like down to earth mothers and wives. So they'll be excellent in the family. However, I just want to say this. There are women there who are studying English, hoping to get that foreign guy. So if you meet someone who's never been abroad before, but who speaks English really well, she's probably looking to get a relationship with a guy. Not always. She's not desperate, but she just wants something better, something different. I think. This is to Kwame. I'm from Illinois. I'm from the United States. I went to the University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana. I was a Russian major there. And I did 1 year in Russia, 1 year France, and 12 and a half years in Japan. And I've been to Ukraine and Russia many times. So I have a lot of friends there. I've been working with dating in that environment for the last 10, 12 years. And of course, I dated there myself, so I can give some really good insight to the women. Hold on, Aaron. Aaron B, you have to say Theo Wath as one word. There it is. That's the same way I did it last time. Okay, so the Capricorn way. This is something I'm gonna comment about regarding Ukraine. If you're just thinking about smashing, when I talk about Ukraine, you'll see why that's not exactly the smartest thing to do with Slavic women in their own country. If you want to just smash, if you want to smash a Slavic woman, you should smash her in your own country, because she's down to smash you there. Okay, so in your own country. But in her country, you should just be more careful. It's not so much marriage-minded per se, which I'm advocating more of a marriage. It's more not doing like, pump and dump. You might have heard of Rush V and his Bang series. I also have the Bang series for Ukraine. And I agree he had a lot of frustration in Ukraine and also in Russia. And there's reasons for this. So I'm going to be explaining this a little bit more when we get into Ukraine. Yes, Nick. Oh, yes, you are actually correct. So there is, okay, I'll spill this right now. There's a problem with not only a lack of educated men there, but there's also a lack of, there's a lot of men are drunks. So it's kind of parallel to the African American community in that there's a problem with getting men into the education system. And, there's just, there's a lower class. I mean, let's just be frank. That's just the way it is. They have the kind of same problem there. And so you have a lot, but the difference is that the women in Russia and Ukraine, they decided to become ultra feminine, ultra professional, and try to do everything possible so that a man wants to stay with her. And also she will date a guy, she will date down in order to make a family. She really wants that family, because Slavic women fundamentally think that if they don't have a family, they are not complete. This is very different from the African American woman. Sorry, the African American woman who thinks, "Oh, I don't need no man. I could be a single mother." Slavic women don't want that. Even though many of them become single mothers, they don't want that. So if they have the opportunity to date a Western guy, and if they see if the guy is black, they kind of don't care, especially nowadays. Again, there's some variation on this, but if she says, "Hey, you're a nice guy, you dress well, you have a nice scent, you have a decent job."
All right, I'm back for you. What's up?
Okay,
Right,
and
okay.
and hold on, I'm explaining about alcoholics.
All right, carry on. Last point.
So that you have, you have a nice job. Okay, I can make a family with you. Then they're actually more inclined to actually start dating you. The big thing is, okay, so I'm gonna make this point. This is in relation to Russia and Ukraine, but this is in particular in relation to Ukraine. Slavic women are sick and tired of foreign men coming to their country in order to pump and dump them.
Damn.
And I have heard many, many, many complaints from this from hundreds of women that I have known for the last 10 years. So the three areas in particular that they are sick and tired of this from are the Middle East, Turkey, and the United States.
Okay.
All three. So you don't want to be identified as a guy who's just a pump and dump, because they're going to look at you and say like, "Oh, you're a pump and dump. Well, there's 20 other guys also here who are trying to pump and dump. So why should I be with you or the alcoholic Ivan or Vlad who also wants to do pump and dump? I'll just get rid of you. I don't care about you." And then she'll shut herself off to you. And where are you going to go after that?
Awesome,
You've lost. You've lost.
All right. Let me come in and let me ask you a few more questions before we
Sure.
move on to Ukraine. All right. So speak about social media like Instagram, OnlyFans, Twitter. Is that a problem in Russia, and is that gassing up the heads of many Russian women?
So Instagram is a problem with women in the bigger cities. So that would be Moscow and St. Petersburg. If she's aware that she's beautiful and she starts doing publications on Instagram, she could easily have 100,000 followers. And then as the women in the countryside start getting to know about this, they start migrating to the bigger cities, and they also have Instagrams. And then you have an issue. The other issue there is this. If you're dating one of these women and they decide to have a relationship with you, you can tell them, "Look, I don't date women who have Instagram. So you have to make your Instagram private, and then you have to eliminate all the men who are subscribers to you." And if you say that to her, if she likes you, she'll probably say, "Okay, fine." So I showed you the pictures of the girls that I was dating. The last one, I told her no Instagram, no Facebook, and no VK. And she got rid of all three.
Awesome. I like that assertiveness. That is masculine. It tells you what you need to do. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about OnlyFans? Is that an issue in Russia?
It's not nearly as bad as it's here in the United States, or I guess in UK. I talked with many women in Russia and Ukraine about this, and I talked to matchmakers about this issue as well. And they're appalled with the United States. They're like, "What is wrong with you people there?" There's usually, if a woman is doing OnlyFans in Russia, she was already in the sex industry. So
Okay.
it's not like Anna or Tatiana next door. It doesn't happen that way. It could, but it's very rare. She was probably already a prostitute, so she's doing this also. She's also like maybe a webcam girl already, so she's doing this for extra income. She's already a pro. It's not going to be your normal girl who's at the university or your office worker. Nah, not going to do it. Nah.
Awesome, bro. Guys, get the likes up. We got 83 people watching this, but I only see 57 likes. Can you please get the likes up? This is free intel. Likes are not expensive. All you do is click the thumbs up button. okay, hit the like button, please. All right, Theo. So from what I hear so far, brothers need to go for countryside Russian women instead of the big city Russian women to get a good
Yes.
Russian woman, right?
Yes.
Okay. And can you please recommend the names of these countrysides in Russia, apart from the three you mentioned, Siberia, Kazakhstan, blah, blah, blah? Can you type it in as to what areas in the countryside should brothers consider going to?
Siberia is huge. So
Hmm.
it would be like, I'll write this out here. So Omsk, where's the other one? So Omsk, Tomsk. Tomsk is boring, but there's a university there, and there are girls there who are highly educated who don't mind black guys at all. I helped a black American, marry a woman from Tomsk. They have 2 kids right now, no
How did?
issues.
Okay. Oh, so carry on before I make my next point.
Oh no, you could ask how did I
Yeah.
help out?
How did you help out? What was your role, and how did you actually facilitate everything between both parties?
He was on a site, I think it was mail.ru, and there was like a social media site, and he actually met her through there, and they started talking, and he needed help with his Russian. He doesn't speak any Russian, so I was translating for him, and then I was telling him how to talk with her, and he just in 2 months he decided to go fly over there. They met. He stayed in a hotel, good internet connection. I gave him more advice. He was just like, I told him, keep frame, look her in the eye, don't feel her body, don't try to smash her, talk to her parents, and then see what happens. And that's what he did. And she fell all over him. And that was it. He took my advice, and she gladly married him. She just that within 1 year they were back in the United States, and they have kids. They have 2 daughters.
Awesome. I want to speak more about brothers bringing Russian women back to the United States, because I'm against bringing foreign women back to America, but it may be a different case for Russian women. But I'll get to that later on. So, are Russian women submissive, in your opinion?
Yes, but the phrase is for both Russia and Ukraine: the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And the man is supposed to lead and be strong. The woman is supposed to be feminine and weak, but influence the man through her femininity.
Mm.
And they tend to be very effective in this. So if you're having a bad day, she's going to have dinner ready for you. She's going to have your clothes ironed for you. She's going to talk with you, and if you need to be left alone, she'll leave you alone. If you need one shot of vodka, she might do that for you. But she tends not to like alcohol in the house, just so you know. But they'll definitely do something with you. They tend not to have headaches. A headache.
Yeah.
They have this is a conversation point that they have in Russia. If she likes you a lot and you're being basically a good guy, at least conjugal conjugal relations.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a problem with that, so you can help her. Yes, Charles White, Novosibirsk. I couldn't write it fast enough. Novosibirsk is also a very good city to meet women in. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, it's pretty good. So there's a university there too, and I've been noticing over the years there's been a lot more women coming up from there and making themselves available to international men. Again, you only want to go to Novosibirsk in the summer. Do not go there in the winter. I was there in the winter. It is freezing. You will have logistical problems getting out. You might be stuck. It's hard to get to Moscow so you can fly out of the country. You don't want to do it. So end of October until the beginning of April, no. But in the summer, go ahead. It's gorgeous.
But is that city safe for black men to go to? Because all these Russian cities, because if it's not the main city, I'm a bit iffy. Is it safe for brothers to go to?
Yeah. So unlike what I said last night, if someone does something violent to you in Russia, kick their butts.
Yep.
Fully go crazy on them. And I had violence when I was in Russia. Somebody, like twice, somebody tried to do damage to me. I took care of the situation. So you need to be very careful. You need to be looking behind your back.
Damn.
Basically, because you do have Western dollars. I mean, you have pounds, so you have Western currency. You can afford to take a taxi. You can afford to be at a decent restaurant, so you can get the protection. You don't want to be at a sleazy place, but at those good places, there's going to be good women, high-level women who are going to want to talk to you.
Bro, you said they attacked you twice. Was that so? What happened? Can you explain those two scenarios as to what happened to you? Were you just walking down the street and someone ran up on you and tried to stab you or something? What happened specifically,
Correct.
brother?
Correct. So when I was in Sochi's on the Black Sea, somebody noticed that I was walking down the street. They didn't like me, and they got a knife out. So I ran first, and then they were chasing me, and then I saw where the police were. So then, once I knew I was in front of the police, they would keep on going. Well, I took 4 years Taekwondo, so I did full-on defense of myself. And the guy, within 15 seconds, the guy was on the ground, and the police came. They're like, "Oh, you're American?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm American." They're like, "Okay, we'll take care of this." they got rid of the guy. Another one, I was in St. Petersburg. A guy tried to knife me, tried to kill me when I was there. Tried to take my stuff. Again, another defense. The police saw it. They came and got the guy, but he was already, he was pretty beaten up at that point.
So you defended yourself on both scenarios. So you actually prevented them from stabbing you through your use of Taekwondo. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a bit worried now because some brothers can't fight, and if that happens to them, because I heard that the police they don't really help black people in Russia. Is that true? They'll leave.
If they figure out you're from the West, they'll help you. They don't want an issue. So, like, if they say, "Oh, you're black," but they're like, "Oh, you're American," or "You're from the UK," "You're French," "You're German," they're like, "Oh, we don't want this problem." So they'll come and help you. If you're from Africa, ooh, yeah, that's a little different. Yeah. You need to be a little careful.
So even with like relations, Western relations between Russia is very, very bad at the moment. They still will protect Western people. Okay. Why is that?
They don't want an issue. It just looks bad. It's bad paperwork. They don't want it. It's just bad. They don't want the issue. That's what I always found. Like, they were very respectful. So they understand what the view is that the governments are stupid, but the people are friendly. And I've always said this. Russians and Americans are very similar in mentality. And it's actually good that they're one ocean or like actually half world away from each other, because they would kill each other. They're both kind of xenophobic, but friendly. And it's an oxymoron, but it's true. So they're expansionist. Russians expanded into Siberia. The colonists in America expanded to California, right? They both have histories of genocide and trying to be like expand their thinking over everybody. And this has resulted in them being kind of fearful of the native population. It's a Russian studies thing. There's probably books written about it. This is what I noticed when I was there. So, but the other point is that, for black people, I just want to say, when I was there in '93, they were talking to me about Jordan all the time. They were talking about the Chicago Bulls. They were really interested in this, and I played basketball with them all the time. And when the Gulf of Finland froze up, I go out there and play hockey with them. I had a great time. I mean, they're really friendly. So even if the countries are going to war against each other, they don't care. They're just like, "Hey, we're on the same boat. Let's talk."
Okay, bro. That's really put things into perspective for me, but I'll come back to that point later on. So my next one is clubs and bars. Do you recommend clubs and bars in Russia, and in what cities to go to meet respectable Russian women? Is that a good avenue to check out?
Yeah, so there's Pushkin in Moscow. There's Pushkin Prospect, which goes up to Red Square, and that area has various shops and bars. It tends to be rather safe and patrolled by the police, and you can meet women there very easily. In fact, going to Red Square, there's in front of like the cathedral there, there's this huge shopping environment, and you can just go. There's usually women who are models doing photos and stuff, and you could actually like just sit there and talk and talk to them. I had some great dates in Moscow. St. Petersburg, you have Nevsky Prospect. All of my dates were on Nevsky Prospect. So it's the number one street in St. Petersburg. There's plenty of bars to go into. My recommendation is go make sure that they're westernized. Don't go into a bar in the basement. That's stupid. That's a death sentence. Only go on the bars on the first and second floor. Look to see that there's security guards and that there's actually a way of getting out, a second door of getting out. As long as I got that, you should be okay.
I think brothers need to they need to make sure they go to Russia. That it's the right option for them to go to Russia, because it seems like, it's not a very safe country. You can go into any problem there if you're very ignorant. So I think brothers should really consider if they actually want to get a Russian woman. Personally, if I want to get a Russian woman, I'll just find her somewhere in the UK or in America. I ain't going to Russia. This is for brothers who want. I personally, I'm not going to. I personally won't go to Russia. Because I read horror stories about Russians. So this is for brothers who need to know this intel. So my next question is, right. So Ransom McKissick says, do Eastern European women expect all black men to be like the ones in Boys in the Hood, or do they expect more suit-wearing, educated conservative brothers? Which ones do they like more, bro?
They have no idea about Boys in the Hood or anything like that. Their kind of view is that it could be extreme from. These guys, I'm trying, like, I'm scaring them. I just say they don't know about what's they don't really know. They see some images of the violence in the United States, but they really don't think of you as being that violent person. That's why you need to have, again, a good suit. You need to speak a little bit of Russian, and you need to have frame, and then go out during the day. You don't go out at night.
Okay.
If you want to go to a bar at night, go to your hotel bar. That's about as far as you go, and then you'll be okay. Even what I mean, I'm pretty smart about how to do this, but I wouldn't go out past 10 o'clock when I was there. And even now, if I went back right now, it would be max 8 o'clock.
Damn.
But there's a hotel bar, so you can go to clubs that are on your street. You just don't go that much further. I mean, there's a westernized areas. You stay in the environment because there's police presence.
All right, good intel, bro. Next one I have for you is online dating. What's the most apps they use the most in Russia? Is it Tinder? Is it Hinge?
Tinder.
Is it something else?
Tinder.
Okay.
Tinder. And you can actually change your city to a city in Russia and see how many hits you get. You'll probably get women talking to you, and then they'll ask you, like, are you really in Russia? Are you really in my city? Because they're kind of interested in talking to you. But it's not to hook up. It's actually to go out to dinner. And in Russia, okay, so when we talked last time about who pays, in Russia, you might have women who are open to paying half. That could happen to sometimes, particularly in like the bigger cities. They kind of understand it. They have a higher income, and the woman may not be buying a dress for this. When we talk about Ukraine, it's going to be a different situation. But they probably already have enough dresses, and they already have enough situation. Like they're okay. They can go there and like to pay $50 for their part of a date. They wouldn't mind it. They might think it's weird, but they can do it.
All right, thanks for that, bro. So Tinder is the main app brothers should be using the most in Russia. Awesome.
Yeah, Tinder, but VK is the big one, and just going around English schools, going around bookstores. I mean, there's lots of women there. There, you can just sit there and talk with them. If you're thinking about a pickup line, like there's plenty of monuments. There's the Hermitage. There's St. Peter's. Wait, I think Basilica. That's what it's named. I forgot the actual name of it. And you just talk to them about, like, you just say, hey, I came here for work, and you don't have to actually be working, but just say you came here there for work. That's your cover line, and you'd like someone to teach them a little bit about the city and where should you go. And she'd probably be more than overjoyed to actually talk to you and tell you where to go. And you can do this pickup line again and again, and they'll keep on talking to you. It's very easy. They'll show you where to go, and they might actually take you there. Then you might have a half day with this woman who's totally gorgeous, taking you around, and maybe you pay for dinner and you see where things happen after that.
That's awesome, bro. All right, next question for you is, do you consider Russian women to be materialistic like American women? So all about Gucci, getting their man to buy them a Birkin bag. Shout out to Quavo and his girlfriend, Sweetie. So is that quite common in Russia? You got to buy me this bag, Gucci bag, heels, all that stuff. You got to pay for everything. Is that common in Russia amongst Russian women?
It can happen, but it's not as bad as it is here. Like a Birkin bag, they'd be like, why? They would rather get the man. They'd rather retain the man, and then have that relationship because they want to become the mother. Whereas you have like a Birkin bag. I know we were talking about. I see women talking about Birkin bag. They deserve it, and they're not talking about retaining the man. So a Russian woman would think that Americans are stupid in that environment.
Awesome. Thanks for that, bro. Next question for you is, I think you touched on cold approaching, but is cold approaching the way over online dating? So if you see a Russian woman sitting down reading a book or just walking around, is it acceptable to be cold approaching Russian women in Russia?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you could do a cold approach, but not cold approach leading to a hookup. You could do a cold approach leading to conversation, and then through conversation, through a extended period of time, then you're talking about a hookup. But if you really just want to smash, like just totally hook up, you're talking about a westernized club, and you need to make sure that your hotel is nearby so you can seal the deal quickly. You don't want to be taking the metro or a taxi someplace.
All right, good point, bro. Good point. How should brothers dress in Russia? Is it the 90s hip hop attire, oversized shirt, oversized pants and trousers, with snapback, big chains, or wearing a suit, a normal t-shirt, chinos? How should brothers dress, bro?
You're gonna want to wear definitely a dress shirt, a little bit more formal than what I talked about with Japan, and maybe not jeans. I mean, you're talking about really good clothing. I'm thinking about what I wore last time when I was there. I was just wearing khakis, Brunello, Custanelli, Tom Ford, some Armani. What Lutz is saying there, I want to talk about this quick. It says that the top U.S. places to meet Russian women. Okay, these places that you're talking about, these are sluts. These are women who know their value and they're coming to the United States to ride the CC. That's why they're there, and they've already ridden the CC hard in Russia.
Damn.
So if you want a woman who's already been with 50 guys, and then she wants another 50 per city,
disgusting.
Go for it. Yeah, because my view is if she's in New York, Pennsylvania, or particularly Miami, she is no go. She is a gold digger who is using Instagram and OnlyFans to up her game. She is a predator. Stay away.
a good intel, Theo. So yeah, it goes on to my next question, right? What are the best places apart from Russia itself to meet Russian women? So where do Russian women travel where do they move to abroad the most? And these are respectable Russian women, who are not whores and all that nonsense. Where can we meet them apart from Russia?
Brazil, and they one of the places they really like. Brazil, Cuba, Paris. They usually can't get to London. They don't have the money for it. Dubai is a big one.
Mm.
They like to try to work in Dubai or get some way of getting there. They like the weather, and of course it's really beautiful there. Emirates, the Emirates, someplace like that. But I know Brazil, they talk about that all the time. Like I
Where in
see it.
Brazil specifically? Where? Sao Paulo?
Rio or São Paulo.
Fantastic, bro. Thank you for that intel. This is wonderful. Okay, can you speak about the nightlife in Russia? Is it vibrant? Is it safe for brothers to party with Russian women, without getting any hate or any fights with Russian men? How is nightlife for brothers to meet Russian women, and is it safe?
Depends on the bar. You need to be next to your hotel. That's what I would say. You don't want to go out too far. It could be wild. I'm really wild. Moscow and St. Petersburg had wild parties. I remember going to a few of them. Out of this world, crazy places. What you want, like if you go to a party in your hotel, that's probably the best. You're really secure there. You want, like, within 1 mile radius of your hotel, try to find another place to go to, and you should be okay. There's, again, Pushkin Prospect has plenty of places to go to that are fun. Just they won't, they'll be open to dancing with brothers. They might know a little bit of hip hop. They might get down with you. They might really want to dance with you and have fun with you. Some Russian men might look suspiciously or not like the situation. They shouldn't be violent. Just be kind of low key about it and say, hey, if you're with a girl that you like and you're kind of seeing there's some hate from the Russian guys, just say, hey, my hotel is over there. Why don't we go to the bar over in our hotel? I'll pay for the taxi. We'll go over there real quick, and I'll keep on talking to you. And she'll probably say, okay.
That's awesome. This is great intel, bro. Shout out to Saying Games, International Passport, you rock, brother. Appreciate that, bro. And shout out to Theo too for the intel. It's a great dude. So everyone in the stream is fantastic. All right, my next question for you regarding Russia before we move to Ukraine is, should the ratio of men to women, is it more women than men in Russia? And in those cities you mentioned that brother should go to meet, is it more women than men?
Yeah, so in St. Petersburg and Russia, St. Petersburg and Moscow, there's definitely more women than men. In the former Soviet Union, as a total, there's 9 million more women than there are men. In Ukraine, there's 2 million more women than there are men. The problem is that, like I've had fights with people over this. There's a great deal of men who in Ukraine and in Russia who are alcoholics, and they're not improving themselves, or they don't have the job, and they just don't care anymore. And these guys are like real hard red pill. They just don't care, and they're not going to get married. They're not going to be a part of it at all. They're doing their own thing. And so if a woman wants to get married, those guys are not options. And I would say that's at least 20% of the male population.
Damn.
Minimum. So for that educated girl who is thin, wants a family, her options start dwindling the older she gets, because also the guys start dying off more quickly. So by the time they're 40, the amount of the ratio is really like 2 to 1. So she knows she has to get married. And also in Russia and in Ukraine, a woman who is 30 and single is considered to be a leftover. Like something's really wrong with her.
Damn.
And her possibility for getting married just drop huge, big time.
This is great intel, bro. Next question for you is: should brothers travel to Russia by themselves or in a group of friends?
I would advise a group of friends.
Good point.
Yeah, and if you don't, then you should go to an area where there's other Westerners. You don't have to be from this is to American men. You don't have to be with other Americans. Be with Germans, English, French, Spanish, Italians. That's fine. Be with Western Europeans as well. Just as long as you're in an area where people know who you are and they'll go out with you and talk with you. You can find some of those communities online. Again, English schools, international working environments. You can say, well, this is where you should go to someplace next to Nevsky Prospect or Pushkin Prospect in Moscow, and again, it's very easy to link up with these guys and go out with them.
And what about places in Siberia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan? What are the westernized places there that brothers should go to and stay there with hotels?
There aren't any.
Okay.
So you have to keep your eyes open. You really need to be on your best behavior. You don't go out past a certain time. You don't go out when it's dark. Really keep your eyes open. In that case, you need to have a link. Like I would say, definitely an English school. Sorry, like you might want to be teaching English there, or you're studying Russian. And at that case, you're able to talk with people.
Awesome. Can I ask why did you actually travel to Russia in the first place? Was it for your studies, for university? Was that why you studied? Okay.
Yeah. So
was it a requirement, or you just it was part of your course, or you just chose to go there yourself?
If you're a Russian studies major, they thought, of course, you're going to go to Russia for a year. That's just what you do. It was the same thing for French studies. I went to the Sorbonne, so just what you did. I mean, they had an exchange program set up. They're like, okay, sign the paper, go. So it's not easy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, bro. So carry on. Sorry.
So I didn't go to Ukraine for that. I studied in St. Petersburg. I actually wanted to go to MGU, which is Moscow State University, but they didn't have the opportunity to go there. That would have been really great because then I could have met a lot more people. But in '93, there was only like 50 Americans in St. Petersburg. I was one of 50. So they're like, hey, anything is good.
Damn, that's crazy. All right. So the brother says Russian guys are huge. Is that true? Okay.
No, I was bigger than most Russian people.
And you're like 6'5", isn't it?
I'm 6 feet, 183 centimeters, and I'm definitely like 250 pounds. And so, you know, I could crush a guy with like a grape. Not even worried. Yeah, that's something that women actually told me that they liked. They liked that I was a bigger, muscular guy.
This is awesome, guys. Get in the gym. It doesn't matter how tall you are. Just get in the gym. Get your muscles right. Get your weight right. Start learning how to fight. Start learning the martial art. You know, protect yourself wherever you go to. Even if it's in a safe country, always look to protect yourself. We got 97 people watching this live stream. Can we hit the like button, please? Can we get to at least 85 likes? You know, this is free intel. Likes are free. Hit the like button if you've not liked the video already. All right, bro. Before I move into Ukraine, you showed me your girlfriend. Is your girlfriend Russian or Ukrainian?
She's Ukrainian.
Okay.
So there's a way of dealing with Ukraine. You have to really know the situation.
Okay, bro. All right. So let's move on to Ukraine now. I think I've asked a lot of questions regarding Russians. First question is, how did you meet your Ukrainian girlfriend?
I met her online, actually. So I showed you two women, right?
Yeah.
So the first one, I met her online with VK and a dating site. It was a pay per letter dating site, but I also talked with her on VK. So I actually went there to Ukraine, to Kiev, met her, asked her to marry me, had a great time with her. I came back, and then I was talking online again, and then the second one, the one in the black bikini,
Yep.
I talked with her and I showed her the first girl, and she said, "Oh, you're with a bad woman, and she's gonna lie to you, and she's taking from you. So when your relationship ends, come talk to me." And I was like, "What the hell?" And she was correct that the first one was lying. So I actually hired a detective and followed her around in Kiev and found out that she actually had a boyfriend locally and that she was just trying to finesse me for money.
Damn. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Let me break that down. So you were in America, right? At
Mm-hmm.
first, you went on. You got onto a dating site, vk.com.
Mm-hmm.
You found the first Ukrainian woman on vk.com. You traveled. You spoke to her. You then traveled to Kiev, Ukraine, to meet her, and you got married to her.
No, I asked her to marry me. I didn't
Okay, you
marry
asked her
her.
to marry. Okay, and then later on down the line, you found another woman on vk.com, and
Mm-hmm.
she told you that that woman is lying to you. How did she know that she was going to lie to you in the first place and she was a bad person?
Because she knew how Ukrainian women think. And she said,
Mm.
"Well, obviously, you don't know how they're thinking, Theodore, but I do. You're just looking at her beauty. I know who she is."
So
So
if most Ukrainian women think like that, how can you trust your current girlfriend if your girlfriend is telling you that Ukrainian women think like that, bro?
I hired a detective for her too.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
So yeah.
so you hired a detective in Ukraine, a Ukrainian detective, right? To watch over those girls while you were in America, or was
Yeah.
that while you were in? Okay,
Well,
that's awesome.
yeah. And they made sure, and they followed her around. And the second girl, I was like, "There's no way. You're totally hot. You've got to have like a secret Instagram. You've got to have some secret thing going on. You have to have a secret boyfriend, something like that. Like there is just no way you're that hot and single." And I hired the detective, and he followed her 3 days and did all the background check on her legally, and found out, nope, she's living at home with her mom and her brother. She doesn't have a boyfriend. She's very boring. That was it.
Wow,
She's hot and
bro.
boring.
So wow. And how long have you been with her for? How long have you been with that current girlfriend for?
I've been with her like 4 years.
And so you're doing long distance relationship. She's in Ukraine at the moment. You're in America. So you travel
Yeah.
frequently to Ukraine to meet with her.
So I flew her to LA, and I was with her in LA, and then I flew her to Canada. I was with her in Canada, and then I was just in Ukraine in January. I met her again. So she's very, very fun. I talk with her every day, literally on Messenger on Facebook. So we just sit there and talk with each other during the day.
Damn. So how do you not have any trust issues that she's far away, or do you have a detective on her every day watching her?
Not every day, but yeah, it's the real issue is the roles. So if I bring her over and there's a legal marriage, what is she going to do? How is the relationship going to work? And this is something that people need to be aware of, because if you don't like if she's coming over expecting to work and not make a family, but you want a family first, you're going to have a problem. So you need to be very aware of this. You need to be talking about this up front.
Okay, bro. So you're doing long distance. So within those 4 years of doing long distance, she's not cheated on you once at all.
No.
And you know this because you have guys following her. Hey guys, this is incredible. Hey brothers, this is the blueprint. If you want to do long distance, hire a private detective and get her to follow your girlfriend around for the last 4 days, 4 years. Sorry, this is incredible. I respect that feel. I'm guessing, is that expensive?
No, it's not that bad. But part of it, I mean, I'm thinking about how other people would say like 4 years. That's really long. Yeah, it is. It's because we're still in that negotiation, and I just want to admit there's plan B and C in existence. So if it doesn't work out, I can go elsewhere. Plus, I spent over $30,000 on matchmakers that are in place in case it goes south with her.
Damn, this is
Yeah.
incredible, bro. Hey, you must have a lot of money, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I respect that, brother. I respect that. Hey, we need to keep in touch because you're definitely going to be a mentor to me in my dating life and my career life. So, bro, I'm definitely going to be speaking to you about many things. All right.
No problem.
Okay, so enough about your girlfriend. I'll come to her later on. Let's speak about Ukrainian women. First
Okay.
question for you, brother. Are they checking for brothers?
Yes, they are. But I've made videos about this on UK, and I've advised men a lot about this. There are two tactics that you need to understand first with dating Ukraine. They are, hold on, let me write this out. Sumy, Donetsk, and Lugansk. Okay, I wrote them out in the chat. There are 4 cities where you do not date, and they are Odessa, Sumy, Donetsk, and Lugansk. You do not approach women there. You do not try to date. In Odessa, in particular, the women are highly able to finesse you. It's like they have a natural skill in doing this, and they look like normal women. Plus, like, I'm a scammer hunter in Ukraine. I'm very good at doing this. The girls who are most likely to scam you are about 168 centimeters or about 5'7", normal brunettes with like about a B cup, and they just have a pretty face. Those girls are some of the most lethal scammers I've ever seen, both on the street and online. The blonde with a big chest, many times she has no boyfriend. She doesn't do the scamming, and I couldn't believe this, but I kept on looking through the data, and it was actually true. So you might actually do better going for the really hot chick in Ukraine than the normal girl. The next one is that Ukraine actually has 2 ethnicities. They have Russians and Ukrainians. They're kind of merged together, but in Western Ukraine, so from Kiev to the west, you have more Ukrainians, whereas Dnipro to the east, you have more Russians. So you need to ask her what she speaks at home. And if she speaks Ukrainian at home and she has a father in her life, you probably have hit the gold spot. The big area of where women really like brothers is Kherson. I typed it out. I have been there, and I have heard other brothers talking about it. They have got a lot of university girls, and they're into black culture, and they want to meet a black guy, and those guys will hop on you, and they're definitely looking for a marriage.
Those girls, you mean?
Yeah. They're very interested in black guys. So Kherson, Kiev, Dnipro, Nikolaev, those are the 4 big areas for black men to go to.
Can you type that in the chat, please, bro? All
Sure.
those places. This is incredible intel. Oh my goodness. Everyone in the live stream, where will you get this intel from? Only on International Passports channel. Don't you ever forget that, brothers. Hey, carry on, Pio.
Okay, so those are the 4 big areas that you can probably meet the women who are not only into black guys, but really want to have an extended relationship with one. And they're really into the guys. If you're talking about an age difference, I just saw that real quick, I'll answer it. You can do a 20-year age difference in Ukraine as long as you're fit and you have money. That's just the way it is. You can, like, 15 years, no problem. The women have their epiphany phase right when they're around 23 to 25 years old. They know they're getting older, and they're definitely looking for the guy. They like black culture. They like how black men look. and they're the ones who also are more likely to marry an African. So there are half Nigerian, half Ghanaian, Ukrainian, Russian women in Kiev area and also Dnipro. So one of my good friends in grad school, he's from Detroit, and he wanted to actually study Black women in Kiev, and there's plenty of half Black women there. You can also
Damn,
date them, and
yo,
they act totally Slavic.
this is incredible. Hey, and I prefer Black women as my first choice. I've said that many times. Although I do date different races of women, Black women are my first choice. To hear that there are Black women in Ukraine that are
Yeah,
feminine, traditional, I'm definitely going there, bro. Whoa, this is crazy,
yeah,
bro. I did not know about this, brother.
yeah.
Oh,
There are quite a number of them, and um, they're looking for a guy. They kind of understand their best opportunity for a guy, their best chance for a guy is foreign, and so they kind of have their eye open for a foreign guy. Well, particularly again, the UK, the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. They're eyeing those areas. Um, when he was there, he dated a lot of them. Well, I was just there in January. I saw a few of them on the street. They were pretty hot. I gotta admit, they're not fat. They got a hip. Um, they have nice hair, natural hair. It's well done. They're definitely like a size 6 or a size 4. They're not they, but they can feed children. I'll say that they've got a curve. Uh, and they act really nice. They're actually really feminine. They're nice women.
yo, this is crazy. Okay. I've got a few questions for you, brother. All
Sure.
right. So is actually for questions for both Russia and Ukraine, is prostitution a problem in both countries?
Ooh, you're asking questions, aren't you? Okay. So I wouldn't say it's a problem, but if you want to get one, you just have to be discreet and you can get service.
Yeah, brothers, avoid that any shape or form. Any woman who is telling you to pay for something, don't go through with it. Smashing is free. Go out there and get the woman you want to. All right.
Yeah.
So, feminism, is that a problem in Ukraine and in those particular 4 cities where brothers are being checked on heavy?
So the women there largely reject Western feminism, and
Fantastic.
they're it's much stronger than the Russians are, and they are much more family oriented. So their idea of a like Rush V talks about this in Bang Ukraine, and this is what I noticed as well. If you really want to pick up a Ukrainian woman, you need to be talking about family from the first date, and they will sit there and listen to you. And they don't think you're weird for talking about family. They're actually rather happy that you're doing this. If you're just talking about taking her back to your hotel or anything like that, they think you're a sex tourist, and that's it. It's like a cold wall. They're not going to talk to you anymore. But if you just treat them well, and the other thing you need to remember, this is going to really suck. A lot of people are going to hate this. I hate this. It is all over Ukraine. I'm sorry. This is something you guys need to understand. You need to bring them flowers on the date. I think it's stupid. I don't want to be hanging out in front of a restaurant with a bouquet of flowers. I'm totally against this. But my girl I dated, the girl that dated before her, all my matchmakers, all my Ukrainian women friends that I have, they all said the same thing. You need to bring flowers on every date. And not only that, it needs to be an odd number. So it can't be 12 or 4 because an even number of flowers is for a funeral. So it has to be an odd number. The
Okay.
preferred is 15 or 21 flowers.
Wow. This is great intel, brother. I have not heard that before. This is crazy intel, Theo. Awesome. Um, Going on to my next question, right? Is there any jealousy towards black men, brothers in Ukraine and in those 4 cities where brothers do well in?
No, but this is again, I know a lot about this because the girls have told me about this, and the girl that I showed you, she's talked to me about this as well. Um, you definitely don't want to make her into a single mother, because if she has again a biracial child and it's half black, they're going to call her a prostitute.
Damn.
So you don't want that. And if you are serious with her, you definitely want to take her out of the country. If you're black, you want to take her straight out. If you bring her to your country, the possibility of her being a hoe or her like being like Western feminized is actually very low. So in my HOA, there's a Russian and American family, and that woman is one of the most loyal women I know. So she's not hoeing herself out at all. They just don't do it. So they're actually very dependable. If they have children in particular, they understand that they are linked to you, and they're not going to be like, okay, I have a child, now I'm going to depend on welfare or the government or just leave you. Not now. They're going to be like, I'm staying with you, man. As long as you don't beat them, they don't want to go away. So the Capricorn way, you say brothers should not be making single mothers. This problem is with Nigerian men in
Damn.
particular. Yeah. So yeah, there's stories about this. So okay, let's just put that on the side. It's like Western men, Western black men don't do this in Ukraine. It's not an issue, and they actually really like you. All you have to do is they know about the NBA, they know about hip hop to some degree, but they don't know about the bad side, the poor sides about America, and they don't really care about that. They just think you have this really great look, and they're kind of intrigued about it. But there are some women who are like entirely, please date me. Like, you're a black guy, I want the black guy. They're just into it. Like, I met them when I was there. I was like, I couldn't believe it. The girl I showed you, her name was Angelica. She was one of these types.
Wow. Okay, brother, this is incredible intel. So you're telling me that if a brother goes to Russia and Ukraine, finds a good-looking, respectable woman, brings her over to the UK and America, she will not be westernized.
It's
Very,
unlikely.
oh wow.
It's unlikely. But I want to make sure this point you guys understand. If she already knew how to monetize her beauty in Ukraine and Russia, and she already had that Instagram, I guarantee you she went to the Middle East and she rode the CC there, and then she rode the CC in her country. And so that if she goes to America or the UK, she's just looking for more men. She's already a predator. And I've seen plenty of women do this. I mean, I have stories. I've seen the things I've seen. They are just pure predators. They're just sexual deviants as far as I'm concerned. If she isn't monetizing her beauty, but she just wants a husband in her country, then if you take her to UK or the United States, she's just going to stay with her family. That's it.
Okay, so how do we make sure we don't come across the first type of woman, the woman who rises CC, the woman who's a hoe? How do we look out for signs like that? How do we avoid them, brother?
Ask if she has an Instagram, and then look on her Instagram to see how many followers she has.
Awesome. Thanks for
Yeah.
that, bro.
If
Okay,
she has a private Instagram and there's not that many people there, that's just her friends. But if she has 10,000 people, oh yeah, you've got a problem.
yep. I always tell brothers, avoid women who have excessive Instagram followers. It's over. She belongs to the streets. So ignore her, brothers. Right. Next question for you, brother, is Ukraine safe for black men to live there? You know, are there any attacks towards brothers like in Russia, like any harmful attacks? You know, people being jealous of black men. Is that common at all? Feel?
No, but you need to be living like in more of a downtown area in Kiev. Like, I was just there. I remember, like, I didn't have any problems. Because I'm a pretty big guy. Again, I work out. I've got a gym in my house. I do taekwondo. So I was walking outside on the street at 10 o'clock at night in my shorts. I don't care. So they were looking at me weird, but there was no attack. They're just let me go. They didn't care. As long as you're not doing something stupid, they're not going to care at all. I even talked to the I was jet lagged, so I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and just go walk, and I would talk to the police, and they would just look at me like, "You're the only person here at 4 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just walking. I have my passport with me just in case." They're like, "Okay, bye." That's it. They don't care. They don't really care. But you don't need to go to a slummy area. That's my advice. Don't go to a slum area. Don't go to a poor area. Make sure you're in the central parts of the city and you're visiting upscale places. This should be rather easy since that Kiev is rather poor compared to Russia. It's more like going to I would say something like a Chicago or a St. Louis, or in the UK, maybe Manchester. That's
Okay.
about it. It's not a London. London would be more like Moscow or St. Petersburg.
Right, that's
Yeah.
awesome intel, bro. I want to now move on to social media. So you've mentioned Instagram, but is Twitter, is OnlyFans an issue in Ukraine and in those 4 particular cities that they check for in brothers?
In those cases, you might have a girl who's doing a webcam on the side and doing some OnlyFans, but usually that's produced with her boyfriend, and so that woman's not going to be available anyway. You might have a single mother or a mother who's actually doing it with her husband. I've seen that. But it's the normal girl doing it. Nah, man, nah.
Okay. So in Ukraine, would you say it's a very low chance to meet professional women who are lawyers, doctors, engineers, and as a man, you have to provide for her all the time. You got to pay for all the bills, all the dates. Is that very common in Ukraine, feel?
Okay, that's a great question, and this is where kind of a crazy explanation is going to happen. All right, so if she's a doctor or a lawyer, she has a skill that isn't easily transferable to the West. So she's probably very strong in her career, but she doesn't have a man. And having a successful relationship with her is very low. I have talked about this with matchmakers before, and they agree with me on this point. You really can't bring her out. It's best if the man lives with her, and that's just not going to happen. It's a no-go. No. So a lot of the women the women that you probably want to date aren't going to be earning more than $1,200 a month, and they if they have a date with you, they'll have your photo or something like that, or like they talk to you with you online or something like that. A lot of these girls, when they're preparing to have a date with you, they're going to go out and get their nails done, their hair done. They're going to buy a new dress, and it could easily cost 1/3 or 1/2 of their salary for the month in order to have the first date with you. So the expectation is that you're going to pay for the date. And that is because it's a much heavier toll on her than it is for you. And she's putting a lot of hope into you because you can really change her life. So she's really hoping this works out.
All right, brother. You said skills such as being a lawyer, doctor cannot be transferable to the West. How is that? How is that not so? Because being a lawyer and a doctor in the West is pretty similar to being in Ukraine, although different laws. How is that not transferable to the West?
Because if in the West, I mean, you have many years of actually going to med school, and you have certain degrees in order to qualify and also go into your specialization. A doctor in Ukraine, you can be a doctor by the time you're 22 years old. They don't have the long track record of actually, like we would recognize the doctors as being nurses, not actual doctors. So they don't have the skill set. So they come over, I know how your socialized medicine works in the UK. They wouldn't accept her as as a doctor, they say you're a nurse. Same thing in the United States. They say, okay, you have to start at the bottom. You have to go through the entire process. So you're not going to want to deal with that. And then as a lawyer, the United States, she has to pass the bar, but she doesn't. How is she going to do it? She doesn't know American law.
Yeah.
So then she could do international law for Ukrainian and Russian companies doing business in the United States. I've seen that happen. But then you have a professional woman. So are you trying to make a child with her? And is she open to making a child with you? Maybe not. So then you have a westernized woman problem in your house. Why would you do it? It just doesn't make sense. I had this long conversation with my matchmakers because one of the first women they suggested to me was 35 years old and an international lawyer. And I said, she's too old. 35 is no go. And she's already set in her ways. I don't care how beautiful she is. What am I going to do with this? I need someone who's following my lead and in my frame. I'm not going to be in her frame, but she needs a guy in her frame. Ain't going to happen. No.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Theo. Volcano says you are expected to fulfill your role as a man. Yeah, I agree. But again, I'm not the type of dude that will allow myself to be used as a flipping cash machine, which is why I ask questions as to finance, who handles money, because brothers need to stop being used for all their money, right? There needs to be an arrangement, because you don't want to be used. You don't want to be a sponsor, or else you start losing all your money. She leaves you. You start simping, paying for all her bills. Do not allow yourself to be used by any woman. If she works a type of job, she must contribute in some shape or form. Do not pay for everything in your household. That is nonsense. You want to say something, Theo?
So the women understand that for Western Europe. I want to say that. Ukrainian women understand that if they're living with a guy from Western Europe, that they need to work and they need to contribute. They're not going to go through for free, and they understand. I've talked to quite a few with this. So my first girlfriend I had in St. Petersburg, she married a guy from the UK, and she has 3 kids, and she's living in a suburb in the UK. I forgot where, but she works. She got a job and she contributes. So I think in that situation, you're very correct. But in the United States, I've talked with them many times. Like, okay, where are you going to get a job? What are you going to do? Like, let's talk about it. You don't have the skills. Are you good with IT? I mean, what kind of job are you going to do? And women, I've heard them say like, well, I'll work selling clothes. And I say like, well, we've got internet. Retail is dying, and you're going to be competing against Mexicans, and Mexicans are better than you. Okay, so what else are you going to do? Like, let's go through the list of your possibilities. And I kept on telling them. I said, no, you're going to be a mother, and this is the reason why in the United States she's going to be a mother. When she comes over, even a fiance visa or a wife visa, doesn't matter. Once the marriage happens, she can't work for 3 months until she actually gets the work visa, the work authorization. So that means she's going to be in your house 3 months minimum doing nothing. So you're going to have, like, I showed you that photo of the girl I'm dating, right?
Yep.
You have that hot chick in your house. And I told her, I said, there's impossible for me to use contraception every single time with you. It's not going to happen. And all the guys I helped get married had the same experience. They knocked her up within 6 months. So she's going to be the mother, and she'll have 2 children. Then she'll get used to the system, and then afterwards maybe she can get a job. But she has to actually take a few years to figure out how to get a job. If it's Western Europe, however, she needs to be thinking about how to get a job from day one.
Okay. So, since you're expected to be at home for quite some time, the divorce rates, because, the problem with doing that is that when you divorce a woman like that, she will simply tell the judge that, I've been at home, no job and everything. so I deserve more of his assets. So how do you navigate that? What is the divorce rates for Russian and Ukrainian women? Is it very low? Is it high? Because you need to avoid that. Come on, bro.
It's low if you did it right. If you took her from her country, if you knew her parents are involved with communication, the divorce rate is very low. I mean, like, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is knock her up. She's actually happy about this. If she's working, like, I understand we're talking about the UK and the divorce. She has to work to protect the man against divorce. I understand that point. So she'll work, but she's also expecting you to knock her up. She wants the kid entirely. So if you make a kid with her, she's really not going to want to leave.
That's awesome. That's fantastic to hear, because a lot of reasons why men get absolutely screwed in divorce is because the wife isn't working for the last 10 years, 5 years. She's been at home. She divorces you. She tells the judge that there was an arrangement that I would stay at home, look after the kids. I have no income. Therefore, the judge gives her half your assets. It's very common in the UK and in America, which is why I encourage all my girlfriends to work. No one is going to be sleeping at home doing nothing. You got to work, because I ain't being messed over in some divorce case in the future. If brothers do get married, you got to be careful of that. Go on, Theo.
Yeah. So, and also I know the cost of living in the UK isn't exactly low. So she needs to be contributing anyway in order to support a decent standard of living. I would say with the United States, there's no way. If you're expecting her to come to the United States and actually work, she's going to look at you like, well, okay, how do I really think about you? So she might do the job, but she's might be a little trumpet. You should have enough money so that she could just stay at home, and she will check you. Like, you have like 90-day fiance, right? And we're looking at 90-day fiance and looking at the various problems that there are with the women. 90-day fiance is also in Ukraine and Russia, and they're looking at the problems with the Western men. So if you don't have your own place, she's not gonna come to you and see you. She's not gonna marry you. If you don't have a decent job, making a decent salary, she's not gonna come over. She'll think it's too risky for her. So you actually have to pass those tests also with her.
Awesome for that. Thanks for this intel so far, Theo. Bernie DeBro says, never marry a Western career woman unless you like being a dog. Dude, you got a dog in your AVI. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny right there, bro. You're contradicting yourself, bro. All right. So let me go into my next question. Okay, hold on, bro. Okay, so are Ukrainian women submissive?
Yes, entirely. They will not be combative. There's a more likely chance that you could have combative Russian than Ukrainian. Ukrainian women do not like being combative. They don't want to leave their guy. They want to actually have a good time with their guy, and they're incredible cooks. So they definitely want to please you on this. But you do need to understand what the role is going to be and decide on the role before you bring her over. Yeah, that is a kind of a dicey conversation. So, like, again, you saw the girl that I'm dating right now. We are still having problems with role. There's a plan B. And with the plan B, she has no problem just being a wife and staying at home and actually taking care of everything. I like her, but she's just not as hot as the girl that I'm actually dating. Yeah. So the plan B, that girl I'm talking with, she loves black guys. She really wants to have a biracial child. She likes black culture. Oh yeah, she's totally into it. But she doesn't want to talk to black women. She understands there's a problem with them.
Hey, dude. All right. This is not the stream for that, bro. Let's keep it about us only. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, bro. Okay. Can I speak to you about? Okay, so why is it that Ukrainian women check for brothers so much? What is it that they like about brothers that they want to date them so much in those 4 particular cities? What is it, bro?
They like height, strength, the flair, the style, and that they're not using power over them. They're not like saying, "Hey, your country is poor, my country is rich. You come over and do what I say." They like being respected, and as long as you have a hobby and you're able to talk about life, then they're definitely going to want to talk to you. When I was just there again in January, even though I was with Angelica, and people would see us together, I noticed that the women in the restaurants and the front desk and other places were definitely trying to get my attention.
Damn.
And they were making it kind of clear that they were available also. And I was like, wow, that's something. But the thing was is that I was making a lot of jokes in Ukrainian and Russian, and they liked that I was intelligent. So they kind of like that. Just make sure that you have the clothes. I'm going to show you some of the clothes there. Actually, I brought this over real quick. For Ukraine, you actually need to have some good clothes. I want to make sure that you really need to have your game right. So I brought this over to prepare this. This is one of my suits that I use for Ukraine. It's Brioni. Here are my shoes. I'll show this to you guys real quick. These are Berluti. Okay. These are actually UK size 12. These are my tie. This is, what is it? Here we go. What is this? Hermes? Yeah, that's Hermes. So this is an Hermes tie. You got to have some really good stuff. You need to be dressing well. But when you dress well, they reward that. They respect it. And they think that you're really a guy who has his act together.
This is awesome intel, Theo, so far. Thank you for that, bro. Can we speak about... I'm going to pivot the question to America. Where in America can brothers meet Ukrainian women? And are these women worth dating, or should brothers completely disregard Ukrainian women in America?
So I'm here in Austin. Something like 5% of the city is Ukrainian. There's Ukrainian sections. I never wanted to date a Ukrainian woman here. I've actually been in companies where there were Ukrainian women working, and I was looking at them and I was like, they're turning westernized. And these are women who got their own visa and they came over by themselves. The same thing for Houston, Dallas. There's Ukrainians there. Chicago, definite Ukrainians. They're westernized. And then you have the big ones that are popular: LA, New York, and Miami. Those Ukrainian women understand their beauty and they have monetized it. They hunt you. You want to stay away from them, honestly.
Hunt you. So they run after, they want you, they go after you pretty heavy.
You're just one of their notch counts.
Yeah, brothers avoid that. Nah, we don't want that at all.
You don't want it. So if they came over by themselves, you have to be much more worried about the situation. But if you bring a girl over, it's much less of a problem, particularly if you're not living in a big metro area. So if you're not in New York, Miami, or LA, and then she understands she's going to be her function as family, she'll understand it. Yeah, I would just want to say, definitely in here in Austin, there are Ukrainian women. But again, I've talked with them. I've had dates with them, and I wasn't impressed. I was just looking at them like, yeah, you've ridden a lot of guys, haven't you? You have a high notch count. I can tell that.
Nah. Disgusting. Yeah, we don't want that at all, brother. We don't want that at all.
No.
So you're saying when you want to bring Russian and Ukrainian women over, move them to a place in America where it's like a countryside, not a city, big cities like Minnesota, Maine, all those places. Is that where you want to live?
You want to live in a red state because the divorce laws are much more in favor of the man, and the price levels are lower, and they're less likely to meet like truly westernized like feminist women. The women here tend to be a bit more conservative, so they understand that that's the way it's going to work for them. And they can also find, if they do want to find work, they can find work, but it's not going to be something that's going to be a threat to you or a threat to the family. So they're still looking to you to be the leader, which is what you want to be. Yeah, that's good. I would say Atlanta. Don't bring her to Atlanta. There's no need for that. Doesn't make sense. She definitely wants to have fun. So she like on the weekend she'll probably want to go to the park or to a beach. A lot of the women I talk to love sushi and margaritas.
Why not Atlanta? Why not bring her to Atlanta?
Because the black women won't like it that you're dating out like that, and she's probably going to be super hot compared to the women there, and they're going to go after her and give her bad looks. So, nah, I wouldn't do Atlanta.
Damn, has that been your experience before, brother? Okay, can you speak on that, on the type of woman you were dating in Atlanta, you brought over? Can you speak on that story further, brother?
So when I had a Japanese wife. We were in Atlanta together, and the looks we got were pretty horrible. So I would just, if you're going to be Atlanta, I would say stay in whiter areas, or just be aware that the sisters are going to look at you. I've gone here in Austin. I've dated Ukrainian women, or also white chicas, and the black women would just give us this sneer and just give this evil eye, and we could feel it. So, I mean, if I do, like, again, Angelica, if I bring her over, I'm not going to care. In fact, we joke about it, and I told her if we go to a black area, wear the sexiest dress you possibly can, and make them sneer over here. And she just laughs and says, "Okay, go buy me something. I'll do it."
Awesome, bro. You said white chicas. What is that?
So a colloquial term for a woman is a chica here. So we
is that Latina?
It could be a Latina, yeah, but I can say white girls too. But I just say chica. It's Texas.
Awesome, bro. Let's speak about what clubs and bars in Ukraine are the best places for brothers to go to. Do you have any recommendations to meet Ukrainian women?
University areas, downtown, the Hilton, between the Hilton, the Hyatt. There's a big street called Krashatik. It's a huge Krashatik. Oh my God! Hold on. Okay, Krashatik. Hold on. It's something like that. It's hard for me to say it in Russian. This is a super long name, but it's like Krashatik. It's at their big boulevard where all their big malls and gyms and clubs are on. Go there. There's so many places. When I was there, that's where I was like, I was going out to the clubs there, even during quarantine. I would say go to a lot of cathedrals. I took Angelica to dates there and the cathedrals, and we had a great time. Just looking at the history and the culture. It's fun. If you're a black guy, you want to meet the women, go out to the streets. You could do your cold approach there very easily. Go to a club, you could do it, but also just go shopping and just talk to women around. If she's not on her phone or she looks pretty good, just start talking to her and start asking her advice, and then say, hey, I want to have a friend talk to me for dinner. Where should I go just so I can have somebody talk with me for dinner? And she'll probably give you some good advice where to go to. Italian restaurants, Japanese restaurants, go in there. There's plenty of single women who would be more than happy to talk with you.
This is awesome intel, bro. So can we speak about online dating? Is that a thing in Ukraine and in those cities you told us about? And can you please recommend the apps that brothers should use in Ukraine?
Tinder.
Tinder again.
Tinder. Yeah. So you want to use Tinder or you want to use a professional matchmaker. Be careful about professional matchmakers because they tend to want to move you towards older women because they have a lot of older women. So if you want a younger one, if you want one who's 25, like say Tinder is good, and then the gym is a good place to meet women. They'll definitely talk to you there.
Awesome stuff, bro. Awesome. Now, do we need to know Russian in Ukraine and in Russia as well to speak with Ukrainian women and Russian women, or is English okay?
You can do English, and you can get. It's kind of amazing how far you can get with just English. I tried it in December, and the women were kind of talking. But if you speak in Russian and Ukrainian, it gets you a lot further. Even I was speaking in broken Russian and Ukrainian because I hadn't studied it for a while. So, I mean, I wasn't getting the grammar entirely correct, but they understood my idea. Yeah, I had women eyeing me all the time. In fact, Angelica wasn't so happy about that sometimes. like why are you doing this? Like, why is she looking at you? And I told her, I said, I expect you to have this role as a wife and a mother if you come to me in America. And remember, if you don't fulfill this role, there are other women that you can see who I can choose. So that was pure red pill frame on her. And so she's aware of that. You kind of need to do that. You need to show her that you can get somebody else and make her feel uncomfortable.
That's a good point there. Show your girlfriend that, you're also wanting that other woman. So therefore she needs to make sure she's in perfect shape. She needs to make sure she competes for your attention, and that's the best way to go forward. Good point, Theo. Very good point. Next question I have for you, Theo, is are Ukrainian women materialistic? They want the Birkin bag, the Gucci bag, the heels, want you to pay for everything, including dates. Speak on that, bro.
Okay. Ukrainian women are not, if they like you in particular because you're a black guy and they actually got a black guy, she's not going to spin a plate. You're not competing with any other guy. You have her. So, like, you need to be paying for everything. But she's not going to be materialistic. She wants just basic dates. So when I was with Angelica just last time, I wasn't buying her Louis Vuitton bags or anything really expensive. I barely bought anything. I just bought for dates. Like, a date would be no more than $20 in Kiev. We just ate a lot of sandwiches, to be honest. We had spaghetti, kebabs, Turkish food. That was like, 2 orders. Because she's really small. You saw her. She's about 167 centimeters, but she is, how many kilos? She's 47 kilos.
Yeah.
So she is thin, right? She's a size 0. So she doesn't eat that much. So I could actually just order food for myself and she'd eat off my plate. Then she'd be full. Yeah.
Damn. Okay. So you've got to pay for everything in terms of dates, but she won't be materialistic in terms of, I want that Gucci bag, I want that Birkin bag and nonsense like American woman.
No. Okay. If she is like, I have horror stories. I've heard horror stories. I had that with Anna, the first girl I was with in Kiev. If she is taking you outside and taking you to stores and saying, hey, look at that in the mirror, look at that bag, that looks great, run for the hills, you're done. It's a wrap. Just say, no, I've had a good time with you. I need to go back to my hotel. I have some work to do. I'm sorry. I got to leave. Get a taxi, go one way, leave. She can figure out her own way home. Block her from all social media and her phone, and that's it. She's gone.
Awesome. Very good point, bro. All right. I want to speak about cold approaching and, how should brothers cold approach Ukrainian women and what lines really work with them? So is it acceptable to be cold approaching Ukrainian women in Ukraine? And yeah, how should brothers go about cold approaching them? Is it how's your day going? I like what you're wearing. I'd introduce myself. How should it be like, bro?
You can comment on her appearance and say that she has really good style. They really appreciate that because they take a lot of care in how they look. And so if you actually comment on their hair, their manicure, how they did their cosmetics, she'll blush, and then she'll be very thankful that you actually talk that way towards her. If you just say like, hey, you know, I'm having lunch, I'm having some coffee, why don't you sit here and talk with me? You know, I'm new here to Kiev, or I'm new here to Dnipro, and I want to know more. She'll sit there and talk. If you're next to a university, you can talk about fun things like, hey, do you know about the NBA? Do you know about this album? Have you seen a movie? And you can just talk to her about fun current events. And then she'll actually sit there and talk to you. And then she'll be surprised that a foreigner is talking to her. But she's going to definitely listen to you. And then at that point, she'll keep on talking to you.
Awesome. Is plastic surgery a problem in Ukraine and Russia? You know, the big lips, the ginormous ass, you know, the fake hips. Is that a problem in Russia and Ukraine?
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, I'm going to talk more about this. Let me explain it. How can I explain this one? Chest surgery is becoming more popular, and what they do a lot of times is fat relocation. So take fat from the legs or from the arms and put it into her chest. Not silicone, but is also silicone. Booty augmentation is not so popular. It has happened, but they don't do it. One point I did want to talk about real quick is there are a lot of half Azerbaijani and half Armenian women in Kiev in particular. And those women naturally look like Kim Kardashian.
Damn.
And you can kind of tell they're a little darker. They've got definite strong black hair, and they've got a curve. And you're looking at them like, oh my goodness, look at her. And you can go up to her and talk to her and say, hey, you know, where are you from? You know, I'm new here. You don't look like you're really Ukrainian. Where are you from? You could actually ask her that directly. And she'll probably say, oh, I'm half Azerbaijani, or I'm half Armenian. Do you like my look? Do you like where I'm from? And that's how you start talking. You can actually say, you look like Kim Kardashian, and she'll probably blush, and she'll keep on talking to you, and she'll take it as a big compliment.
And those type of women are checking for brothers. The half. Wow.
Let's say that they're very open. They rarely meet a brother, but they're very open to dating brothers.
Incredible. Okay, yeah. So it goes on to my next question, right? So what other groups of women are in Russia and Ukraine that are also checking for brothers? Like, are there Brazilian Russians? Are they German Russians? You know, tell us, bro.
Siberian women.
In Ukraine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're
Okay.
Siberian, and then Crimea. So there are women who actually, like, Russia just took Crimea back. But I was in Crimea in 2010, 2011, and there are some of the women that are definitely different, and they like brothers. I had
wait, hold up, bro. You're saying women in Crimea like brothers?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how you can get there right now. I wouldn't go because it's kind of a contested zone, so the Russian military there. But if you're in Ukraine, you might meet Crimean women. I know one. So actually, to be honest with you, my plan C, she's half Crimean, half Ukrainian, and she's got hips for days, man.
Damn.
She's gorgeous. I should send the photo to you.
Please do.
My plan B is half Russian, half Ukrainian, and the plan C is half Ukrainian, half Crimean. She's hot.
Wait, so you're telling me Crimea is an area that they're also checking for brothers? Why is that? Why are women in Crimea checking for brothers like that?
They're just more open to it. They don't mind dating Turks. So they just like a darker guy, and a lot of these women have a darker complexion, and they're a bit more bosomus. That's what I noticed. So
Business. What is that? Sorry, what does that mean?
let's say that she could definitely feed a child, definitely feed an infant. So she's kind of endowed there. You got a lot more of a C cup in that
Hmm.
area, so rather attractive.
This is awesome intel, bro. Can we speak about the nightlife in Ukraine and those four cities you mentioned that check for brothers? Is it good for brothers to go out there to meet women? Is it vibrant? Is it safe for brothers as well?
It's
Safety is very
definitely
important.
it's definitely vibrant. It's not as dangerous as Russia. You can definitely go out. You could, if you want to go home, take an Uber. Do not walk home. There's definitely Uber place. You can use your Uber app, change your location, and it will work for you to get you home. Um, just make sure you connect your phone to Wi-Fi. You might be able to get a cellular. If you can get a cellular contract, then okay, then you can use it fully. What can I say? Um, there are a lot of clubs in Karashatik. There's just go. I just in the center of the city. That's where you're going to want to go. There's plenty of clubs. I just went again. I was there in January, and I went to a few places. It was around Krashatik, and yeah, it was kind of fun. I was only with her, so you just you got to be cool, just sit there and drink your drink, but don't be a lech. Don't be like lewd with your hands, but look a girl in the eye and just say, "Hey, I've noticed you. Are you alone? I want to talk with you." And just be direct like that, and she'll either say yes or no. If she says yes, that means you really are in. She wants to talk with you.
Awesome, bro. Okay, so you're saying, but don't walk home at night. Take Uber. Is it because it's dangerous? They can attack you because you're a black person.
Because you're a foreigner.
Okay.
They'll be able to tell that you're a foreigner. They might go after you. So just it's pretty safe anyway. It's pretty well lit. I'm just saying, like, just in case, just take an Uber. Uber was really safe. I did Uber lots of times when I was there.
This is awesome. All right, thanks for that, bro. Can we now speak about the ratio of women to men? Is it more women than men in Ukraine and in those four cities you mentioned that are good for brothers?
In Kiev and Dnipro in particular, there's a lot more women than men. And if you are a professional, they're definitely going to want to be interested in you. Now, I just want to say, like, I'm seeing some comments in there. If you're talking about Ukraine, if you're talking about Kiev and actually dating in Kiev, you should probably have an idea of staying there for a month or 2 months. And so you're either going to rent an apartment or you're going to stay in a hotel. If you're going to stay in a hotel, it's going to be at least £150 a day or $200 a day. If you're going to stay in an apartment, you're probably talking $1,500. That's in a serviced apartment. So you can work remotely. The internet connections are very good, but you need to be properly prepared for that. So if you don't have a decent job, it's you're going to have, like, if you're really concerned about the woman paying for things and you're kind of self-conscious about that, or you're kind of concerned about it, you might have a hard time because you're going to be expected to pay all of her costs for relocation to take her from Kiev or from Ukraine to your country, and that's going to be $5,000 or $6,000. And if you can't pay for that, she's going to look at you and say, "What the hell? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why can't you do
Wow,
it?" Yeah.
that's
So,
expensive. $5,000 to $6,000.
but I mean, if you talk about like the airplane flight, the hotel, I'm going to be honest with you guys. So in January, I spent about $20,000 just on the hotel and the airplane.
$20,000. How? What do you mean? That's a lot. How do you, for what?
Well, I stayed in a pretty good hotel, and I have pretty good internet access. And then I flew first class, because I wanted to make sure that I could walk properly, because it was 24 hours. I'm from Austin all the way to Kiev. I wanted to be in comfort, so I got a proper recliner, and then I got proper service. So, but you see, if I did that, then I got protection. You don't have to do that. A lot of guys who are listening to me right now, you can fly coach, which is what North people do. Like in 2013, when I went over there, I flew coach, and then I just rented an apartment, and the total cost for me to go there was like $2,000. But if you're gonna get married, you're gonna have to fly a few times, and then you're gonna have to marry her, then actually fly over there again, and then take her back. We're talking about some change. This isn't going to be cheap. She's not going to fly her. She's not going to pay for her ticket to be with you. If you think she's going to pay for your ticket to be with you, she's going to say, "Oh, well, I can get a better guy. I'm richer than you are, and I can get a better guy," and that's what she'll do. So you're just not going to make it. So if you're British, like again, IP, you're in the UK, I would say at least 75,000 quid a year you need to be making in order to deal with Ukraine. In the United States, I'd say at least $100,000. Let's just be realistic. If you're younger and you're dealing with a college girl, you might be able to get away with like making $60,000 or $70,000, but you're talking about a lot of costs. It's gonna be hard for you to actually pull that off to get her over here.
Good luck to any brother who is seriously considering this. That's just made me I have to double check on that, because after hearing the cost of that, that's just crazy amount of, I don't even know, is that simping? Is that just, I don't know, bro. But
no,
I'll come up to it later on.
$20,000 for me is normal, because I have a pretty good job. I have a pretty high income, so I'm going to want to fly in comfort. Like, I just want to tell you, like Frank, I saw that Frank Harris, you say that's simping. That $20,000 wasn't for her; it was for me. That's what because I was in a king suite. I was flying first class. I mean, it was all me. I had all the meals I wanted. I had protection. I had delivery. Like I had limousine service from the airport and back. If I needed to go to a store, they drove me limousine. I took an Uber back, but to the store they drove me in a limousine. I mean, that's money. You know, it's like New York. You don't have to do that, but I've got money, and that's how much I'm going to spend. If you're really in love with the girl, if you found someone, what you need to do is actually stay there and stay in an apartment, and then make sure you're working remote. If you don't do that, then you're screwed. I don't know how you're going to get the money to do it. It's a significant price. That's why the ratio of marriages is actually rather low, because it takes so much money to actually marry one of these girls.
Damn, awesome. Thanks for that, bro. I'm going to open up the phone lines very soon. I've got a few more questions for Fjord before I open up the phone lines. Next one is, bro, should brothers travel alone or in a group to Ukraine, and those cities in particular?
For those guys, I would say travel in a group. But you could travel alone. If you speak some of the language, you could travel alone. I think it would be better for you to travel in a group, just because it'd be more entertaining to do that. If you're like a group of black guys together, they're not going to look at you weird, as long as you have decent clothing on. And girls will be more inclined to talk with you in a group.
Okay, if you're in a group, if they see you in a group of other brothers, and you approach one of the girls, and they see you're in a group, they will be more inclined to speak with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. Is it common for Ukrainian women and Russian women to approach brothers as well, to speak to them?
They'll make themselves available. They'll give you signs. Like I saw in the restaurants and the hotel, there's these women who are always giving me the eye. So they may approach you, but they're going to do it in a feminine way. They're just going to make themselves obviously available. So if you have some game, it's like, hey, I'm here. What are you going to do about it? I'm here.
So the eye contact, they would look at you, look away, look at you for long, then, okay.
Definitely online. However, online, they'll approach you first.
Wow.
Yeah. They will send the letter to you, especially like Tinder. If they see you, they'll swipe right on you quick. and those talk to you.
Awesome. So out of those 4 cities you mentioned that are good for brothers, what's the number one there that it will give you give a brother a very high percentage rate to meet a dime Ukrainian, well-mannered, right-thinking woman? What's the number one area in Ukraine? Number one city?
Kherson, I'll write it in. Kherson. Kherson's number one. What I would say, your game plan for Kherson needs to be, I would go there as an English teacher and get a job, and I would still work remote from your like a professional job in your home country, but I would be an English teacher just so you can get access to more women. It's a very good tactic.
So you're saying we should travel there to Ukraine and be an English teacher there in Kherson, okay, but still have our original job in the UK or in America. So I have 2 jobs. How is that possible?
Because the salary as an English teacher is going to be so low that it's not real salary. So your real money is going to be remote. You're only working as an English teacher, like kind of like on the side in order to actually meet the women.
Okay. Yeah, brothers who want to do that, you need to find out the hours that work for you, because I don't know how I can do 2 jobs in my current job. But good intel, Theo.
Yeah.
So after, can you give us the ranking? So Kherson first. What comes after Kherson?
Dnipro. My girl's from Dnipro. So that would be number 2. Number 3 would be Kiev, and number 4 would be Nikolaev. If you're really professional and
can you write Nikolaev in the chat, please? Sorry, bro.
Kherson, Dnipro, Kiev, and then Nikolaev.
Carry on, brother.
Okay, so if you have, this is advanced game, basically. If you are able to study Ukrainian and you do have a professional job, you're definitely at, like, say, at 100,000 quid per year, or like $120,000 American, and you're able to stay there for 3 months, then I would start going west of Kiev. And there's between Kiev and Lviv, I'll write this in, Lviv. Between Kiev and Lviv, there's a number of cities that are highly Ukrainian, high level of traditional Ukrainian culture, and they got some fly chicks there. And
that are checking for brothers, right?
They're open for brothers. I wouldn't say checking, because they've never seen one before, maybe. But if they meet you and you're just nice, they'll make it available. They'll make themselves available for you. Some of the most feminine women in Ukraine that I've talked to online were in Western Ukraine, west of Kiev. And I was like, my God, just her chest hurt every time. The chest was amazing. The hair was good. She talked about her family, how she can cook. And she was like, come over, come get me. I just never did, because I was talking to Angelica. And I wasn't able to, but that would be a viable, like, plan D, plan E. That's what I would do.
All right, bro. So avenues to meet Ukrainian women: vk.com, Tinder, any other social media sites that are good, or is it just those 2?
Just those 2. That's it. And then talking anywhere on the street. You don't have to worry about cold approach. If she's walking with a guy, then she's walking with a guy. Don't approach her, of course. And just be friendly, and they'll really talk. I had women. I was going into various stores in Kashatik, in the center of Kiev, and I was just looking around, and women were coming out of the stores and just to talk with me. And I was, I could have played game on them if I wanted to, but I didn't.
Damn. All right, bro. 2 more questions for me before I open up the phone lines. I want to speak more about I want you to break down each of those cities and tell me why, you have given those rankings from 1 to 4, and why each of those cities love brothers so much, particularly Kherson. Why is it that, the women there just gravitate towards brothers and are checking heavy for brothers, checking heavy for them?
I know other brothers who were in Kherson who got married, and they also said the same thing that I noticed. It's just that they're into Black culture for some reason. They tend to be, these are big university towns, and so they understand what the West is. They understand, like, they'll say Black influence is coming into them through media, and they're actually, like, they have the freedom away from their parents to actually start engaging Black men to some degree. So if the guys are there, they're very open to dating them. That's what I noticed about it as when I was there as well. Yeah, they got the eye a lot. So again, there's the other Black friends that I have who've been in Ukraine said pretty much the same thing about Kherson. It was just like a hot pot.
Crazy. What about the other cities?
They're open to it. They're open to it. So Dnipro, which is where Angelica is from, they have kind of a unique culture, different, because the Soviet Union the rocket program was based there, and it used to be a closed city, so like no foreigners could be there at all. Period. Didn't matter where you're from. It was impossible. So they're just really open. They're educated and open to foreign guys, and they just, if you're Black, they're like, wow, I got to meet a Black guy. Okay. And they just keep on talking. Online and in real life, I couldn't believe how many blondes talk to me in that city.
Damn, this is crazy. Because the whole Black culture stuff, is the N-word, do they use the N-word there in Russia and Ukraine?
Not really.
I don't want to hear that at all, bro. Okay.
No. Just make sure you're in the center areas. You're not, you're not out in the outskirts. Just make sure you're in the center. You'll be okay.
And okay, so no one says the N-word there at all in Russia and Ukraine.
Not really. Okay. I mean, it's possible, but if they're doing that, you're in trouble. You need to get out of that area very quickly, because you're in an untenable situation. They have no reason to be negative about Black men. And even in school, they are taught about like equality of races, and that there should be no discrimination against anyone. And I talked about that with a few women there, and there's like, yeah, this is why we're so open to dating someone from another area, from another country. So this also extends to Black men. They'll also date Arab and men from India, but I would say African Americans and Black Western Europeans are much higher on the list when it comes to interracial.
Awesome. Okay. So you're saying in schools, is that in both Ukraine and Russia, they teach them that everyone's equal amongst races, both Russia and Ukraine, not just Ukraine?
Yeah. It's one of their main like socialistic teaching points. That's why it's not so hard to date one of them. It's just really easy. And they're not. There's no history of slavery. There's no animosity. They have this really good opinion. So they're just really open to dating. That's all.
This is awesome, bro. So last question for me before I open up the phone lines. Brother, I know you're doing well in your career. Do you invest in stocks and crypto?
Yes, I do. So I actually have 3 Bitcoin. And I have 20 Ethereum. And now I'm doing Dogecoin and ADA. So I'm going into there. I think my portfolio altogether is about $500,000 just in crypto.
This is awesome, bro. And what was what's your original investment in crypto? 10K. That's grew to 400,000.
About that. So I was doing Bitcoin like 2010, something like that. So I threw some money into it and saw how it's going to go. And then when Ethereum was like $10-15, that's when I was putting the money into it. So
Wow.
I'm making a pretty good return. For stock, Apple, Adobe, Boeing stocks suck though. So but Apple, Adobe, other tech stocks, that's usually where I'm putting my money into.
And you said you have free Bitcoin. So why don't you have more Bitcoin? Did you sell all your Bitcoins before? Is that the reason why you have free Bitcoins?
I forgot I had them. That's it. I mean, I just got it on a whim. I didn't even care. I just got it. I just thought, why not? And now I've got like this huge amount of money.
Wow, free Bitcoin. That's incredible. Congratulations to you, brother. I encourage brothers to invest in stocks and crypto right now. Definitely buy. In my opinion, Bitcoin is too expensive at the moment. So go to the next crypto that will become big in the next 5 years. That's Ethereum. Definitely get into Ethereum. Ethereum is still at a good price, and you don't have to buy the whole Ethereum coin. You can simply put down $200 a month into Ethereum for the next year or two. Look into ADA Cardano, look into VeChain, look into Zeliqua, look into Dogecoin and Shiba Inu for the meme coins. But I'd say keep away from meme coins in general. Just invest in one or two. That's Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. And look into buying, what's the other one? Theta token. Try and get into those crypto coins, particularly Ethereum. Invest wisely. When it comes to stocks, I'm a huge Tesla fan. Tesla will become $5,000 per share by 2025. Right now, it's around 550. So pour your money into these stocks and crypto. Awesome.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So right now I'm putting $5,000 a month into crypto.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
What cryptos are you buying? What was the recent ones you bought? Is it the one you just checked?
Dogecoin, ADA. I do. If it matters on how Ethereum is, like what the price is, I can get. If it's a low point that day, I'll buy one entire Ethereum. If it's not, I look at like how ADA is working. So sometimes, for example, if Ethereum is going high but Bitcoin is low, then I'll just transfer all the Ethereum into Bitcoin and wait, because if Bitcoin goes high and then Ethereum goes low, I can just put it back in and then I have more Ethereum. That's been one of my tactics.
So why are you buying Dogecoin every month? What is that? Why? Because it's a meme coin. Why are you buying it every month?
It's speculation. That's it.
Okay.
It's
All right,
for
thank
me.
you.
It's throwaway money. I'm accepting that it may not be anything. So let's do it. Same thing for ADA. I think that's a pretty good one as well. But I don't know if it's going to work. So I put again 5,000 a month into crypto. I'm doing another 5,000 a month into stock.
Awesome. All right, thanks for that, brother. I'm going to open up the phone lines now. It's been 2 hours and 30 minutes of me questioning you, brother. You have answered my questions very well. I appreciate that, Theo.
No problem.
Guys, when you call in, do not troll. Respect Theo. Do not be rude to me or Theo, or else I will put you on mute and I will ban you from the stream. Okay, we're all about respect here. We're all about helping each other out and sharing knowledge. We share travel knowledge, stocks knowledge, crypto knowledge, and financial knowledge. Okay. Now I'm going to open up the phone lines. Be respectful. Trolls will be banned. No joke. Okay, let's go. So calling right now. We'll have like an hour of calling. Is that okay with you, Theo? 1 hour more?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Because it's pretty late over here in the UK. Need to go to bed. Okay. And hit the like button. If you've just joined the live stream, can you please hit the like button? Your likes would help us to push this video out to other brothers who need this intel. We're all about sharing, so please hit the like button. And it's to help the algorithm to push the videos out. So call in right now. And while we wait for the caller, carry on speaking, Theo, as to what's on your mind.
Sure. So some people are saying, like, why do I spend so much money when I travel? It's because I've got cash flow for it. And when I'm dealing with Russia or Ukraine, I want to make sure I have protection. So the higher level that you go, the less likely that a mafia member will actually hit you or that you get some sort of crap. It's all about protection. You don't have to do that. I mean, I'm telling you, you just don't have to, but I do. Just my method. And I like to be pampered. That's it. It's a personal preference. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. We got Opportunity. How you doing, bro? You okay? The brother from Israel. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, family? How you doing?
What's going on, bro? You keeping safe in Israel?
I'm staying low. Minding my own business, you know.
Awesome, bro. Happy you're keeping safe, bro. Jeff, how are you finding the live stream so far, brother?
Great as always, and I appreciate the brother for coming on, sharing that perspective about just being overseas. I kind of try to call myself the expat expert, but it's always good to see other brothers out here that are able to articulate what it's really like overseas instead of the doom story that you get. Russia, oh my God, Soviet Union, you know. So I appreciate it big time.
Do you have any questions for Theo? Opportunity.
Yeah, of course. I always do finances, so I just want to ask a quick question to him. So why was it that you considered to get into the stock market and even the crypto? What was the mentality? Was there a story behind it of why you did it, or you just always saw investing in stocks as something that was important to do?
So I always thought that it was just something important to do. I've got excess cash, so why not put it into something? And so my view is to put it into something that I like. So I particularly like Apple products. I mean, if you were in my house, you would see right now on my desk, I've got 3 iPad Pros and 2 MacBook Pros, and I'm going to be buying more. And if you're having that kind of level, and if I work in IT as well, I understand how they're doing their work. Their stock splits already with a company. It has the fundamentals are correct. It has a huge cash reserve. They can pay all of their, for example, all of their research, all their production with cash. They don't have to raise more stock. The guys are invincible. At some points, they're selling 10,000 iPhones per second globally. I mean, that is hardcore. Of course. So that's a company that I like. I agree with their principles. That's good. I was working with Adobe before as well. Their cash flow model is very good. It's a very reliable amount of stream that they're actually having. So why not go ahead and buy that as well? Since I know how the intercompany of the company works. So that's my main idea. You can go back and forth. I'm thinking about getting into real estate in the United States. Yeah, right.
I'm in real estate. I own a multi-units. I do house hacking on multi-units. I suggest everybody to build wealth. Real estate won't make you rich; it'll make you wealthy.
Right. So what I'm actually doing, because it's not something that I'm passionate about, but I'm knowledgeable. So there's another brother. So Kevin Samuels, right?
Of course.
I'm in a group.
Shout out to the Godfather.
Yeah, I'm in a group with Kevin Samuels. So there's other high value men who are actually creating LLCs for real estate. So I devoted $5,000 a month for 6 years, and I told them I don't care. I don't want a maturity until 15 years later, and they're like, fine, okay. So we're getting together with other people to actually make this happen. So they're going to do the management, and I just get a return. That's it. Okay, good.
Yeah, awesome, I love it.
Fantastic. Yeah. Do you have any more questions for him?
One more, because I think I think a lot of people don't know about it, and they always. All right, so I want to ask one more question, brother, and it's not about travel; it's about finance again. But you invested in Tesla. I heard you say it. Now, most people only know Tesla for EV, right? They only know EV, and it's so much more than that. Can you just explain a little bit of that? Because when it comes from me, they're like, "Oh, here comes this guy again about Tesla." But most people just don't know the other businesses and services and products that they offer. So it's like once you learn, you're like, boom, your mind starts blowing up.
So if you look at it, all of the businesses, all the products that they're selling is interchangeable. So the batteries can be sold alone, or they can be sold, they could be used for the car, or they could be used for space exploration. So if you look at it, they've got this contract with NASA, that's a reliable cash flow, but they also have a product that isn't exploding. Like it's in tests, that's fine. It's in tests, it explodes, that's okay. But it's going to the space station. They have a rocket now that can be mass produced and go to Mars or to the moon. But the components in there can also be used for commercial products. Again, the Cybertruck, Tesla, house units. They're doing the solar. All of this is every unit, every part can be sold for additional upstream cash. I'm looking at this like, this guy is brilliant. Like this, he knows what he's doing, but his execution is amazing. Oh, I'm putting my money into that. Oh yeah, okay.
Yep, I've got Tesla stock myself, and when I was reading about that last year, I was like, I got to buy Tesla stock, and I made a video about Tesla last year. I encouraged brothers. There was a dip, and I told brothers, buy Tesla right now. There's a dip right now. Stop spending all your money on useless women in the West who don't give a damn about you, and use that money to fund your future. Because 5 years from now, Tesla will become a very big company. I predict that it will be $5,000 per share. Right now, it's only around $500. Put money into your future. And I hope brothers did what I did. Miss International says he remembers that video. Fantastic, bro. I hope you bought Tesla stock. Thank you very much, Opportunity. But I'll keep you on the line for questions later on. Thank you, bro. Let me bring in El Selector.
All right, thanks, my brother.
What's going on, El Selector? You right, bro?
Yeah, what's going on, man? How you doing, bro? I'm chilling right now. Yeah, I just had a question for Theo over here. I just wanted to know, I know you mentioned, you were talking about Kazakhstan and Siberia. This is a mystery. I've always wanted to know, and maybe you can answer this question. What kind of females are they? Like, are they white or are they Asian? Like, what are they, like native? What kind of, because it seems like it's like kind of like a different breed of females, or like the way they look over there. And I've always been dying to figure out.
So
you're right about that, man.
So they've interbred, and almost all of them are half something. And
Okay.
it has created this medley of hotness in the women. And so my eyes are on this. And so, as International Passport knows, I send him the photos of the girls I'm actually dating. If something went south with her, I would highly consider a month in Kazakhstan just to date the chicks. I mean, dude, they got some hot babes there, man. They're just exotic. So, again, they're not like one race. They wouldn't say that they're one race because they're part of the former Soviet Union, and so they were just Soviets. That's how they would be considered. They wouldn't say I'm Asian, although they have an Asian influence. They have Mongolian influence. They have Chinese influence, some Korean. They have some Arab in there, and then they've got some Russian, Slavic. But then there's variations in Slavic that they've got in there. So it makes this woman has this medley of DNA, and you're like, oh yeah, I want to hit that. So yeah, just telling you, man, it's good.
Any more? I think El Selector has dropped off at the moment, but I'll bring him back on later on. Oh, there he is.
Yes.
El Selector, you're right.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Whoa. So something in your background that's pretty loud, bro. Can you turn it up?
Okay, is it loud now?
Yeah, it's still loud.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry about that.
All right, awesome. Let me bring in someone else, El Selector, okay? Let me bring in J Bones. What's up, J Bones? You okay?
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you?
I am doing very well, thank you. How are you finding the live stream so far, brother?
Another classic, man. Another classic. A great philosopher once said, God is great and the paper is straight. Another classic.
Damn. Fantastic. Thank you for the kind words, brother. Do you have any questions for Theo?
Yeah, brother Theo, let me ask you a quick question. I have I'm a Jersey native, but I have an uncle who's a science professor at University of Notre Dame, and he traveled with the science, kind of like the conglomerate team over at Notre Dame. This was years back. I think it was probably might have been a freshman then. So we were in South Bend, Indiana. They went into St. Petersburg, Russia for like a week, and he said that they stayed there for about a week, and they left from St. Petersburg to Moscow, and then from Moscow into Kiev. Word on the street coming from him directly is that you should probably just go with the safe situation and just go directly after Ukrainian women. And that's your best. Yeah, that's your best situation. He says the Russians will give you, Russian women are kind of hard headed and, they're a little bit of standoffish, but he said that your best bet is the Ukrainian women. And would you agree with that? Is that something that you can definitely, touch on?
Yeah, this is what you can kind of tell in my answers. I was a little bit hesitant about Russian women, even though I've dated one. My first girlfriend was Russian in St. Petersburg, and she was a blessing. But I see how they're operating right now, and I'm like, ooh, you're really self-aware. You're really kind of going towards predator, whereas Ukrainian women are like, well, baby time. Okay, let's sing a song. Hey there. So what we say, like in Russian studies, is that America is to Mexico what Russia is to Ukraine.
To Ukraine,
and
yeah.
So Ukraine is Russia's Mexico.
Yeah,
and it kind of makes sense because Ukraine's economy is messed up, whereas Russia's economy is actually expanding, and they're getting rid of some of the corruption, or at least they're directing the corruption correctly. Whereas Ukraine just tends to always be corrupt.
And my uncle actually told me, I'm sorry to cut you off. My uncle told me it's a bit of a bully relationship that, Russia kind of bullies them from time to time, and they kind of slap them around a little bit, and then whenever they need something, they just kind of go in there and just take it, without any sort of resistance.
It's domestic violence. That's how I think of
it. Yeah, definitely domestic.
It's a domestic violence situation. Yeah, but even Russian men like marrying Ukrainian women.
Because they're feminine. Because they're very feminine, apparently. Yeah, they're very feminine. Yeah.
They're very feminine. But Russian women are also feminine, just that Ukrainian are even more so.
More so, yeah.
They're even classier. I mean, to tell you the truth, I really wish I had married my Russian girlfriend. She was a high quality woman, and there are high quality women in Russia. Just you got to keep you need to look behind your back and keep your eyes open. Whereas in Ukraine, it's kind of more of like a nice ride, just fun.
Yeah, there's the what's his name too, just to let everybody know on a live. If you're Canadian, you're part of the European Union, and you're an American, you can actually enter into Ukraine without using a visa. Yeah, so that's definitely something that the brothers should be aware of. You can literally just go inside. Yeah, you can actually enter, because my uncle went there. He went to Ukraine, and he was like, nah, like as soon as he got back to New York, he stayed in New York for like a week, turned around, packed up, and went back to Ukraine all over again.
Yeah, so you can go there like legally. You can stay there 3 months every 6 months.
Yeah.
And so they will check. You have to apply for a visa to Russia. It wasn't always that way, but the relations started getting cold again, so they actually required a visa for there. So that's why another reason why a lot of men go to Ukraine anyway. Dude, man, I hate that kind of situation. Like, St. Petersburg is really beautiful.
True.
But you need to know Russian. You need to know street game. You need to be on point with them in order to really date there. But Ukraine, they're like, oh, you're black, you're cute. Oh, okay.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. and probably also like the best part.
How many more questions do you have, J Bones?
No, just the last. This is the last one. I was just gonna. It's actually not a question. Just to let everybody know that if you do stay in Ukraine and you kind of if you overstay your time there, the single entry visa is only $60, so it's pretty cheap.
Right. Yeah. They want you there because they want your Western dollars.
That's true. All right. Thanks a lot, Theo.
All right, thanks for that, J Bones. I'm put you on mute, but stay on the line, okay? Before I bring in L Selector, I strongly encourage you guys to follow me on my social media platforms to get in touch with me. If you want to share your experiences regarding countries you have traveled to, whether it's Russia, Europe, Africa, whatever countries, please get in touch with me and we can set that up. Or if you have any questions regarding traveling, stocks, and crypto, I'm your guy for it. So here is my private Facebook group. Send a request there. I will accept it if you don't troll in the live stream comment sections. No trolls are allowed on my private Facebook group. In that group, we share knowledge regarding countries we want to travel to and the woman in those countries. Again, I am also on Twitter. I strongly encourage you, brothers, to follow me on Twitter, okay? And DM me regarding any questions you have. I want to use Twitter as a platform to push out the travel message to other brothers who need this intel. Brothers need to realize that there's more to Black women than Keisha from the block. There's a lot more to your woman than your community. You know, open up your horizons, get your passports. Brothers need that. Last but not least is my Instagram page. Again, I strongly encourage you, brothers, to follow me on Instagram and send me a DM. I only have 2 callers so far, so I encourage you right now to call in using the live stream link. If you have any questions for Theo, call in. We will not be answering questions on the live stream. You have to call in if you have any questions for Theo. So here is the StreamYard link. Call in and I will put you on the panel. What is up, L Selector? You okay, bro?
Yeah, I'm okay now. How do I sound? Do I sound much better?
You sound a lot more clearer. Thank you for fixing that, brother.
Okay. Yeah, so the next question I had for Theo was I know in Siberia, I usually hear, like, from what I've always heard, Siberia was like a tundra out there. So like, and it's like one of those places where it's just cold, it's dead, there's not really much going on over there. That's the misconception of Siberia, or that's the conception that people have put out of Siberia. Can you explain that? Can you just elaborate more? Is that the environment? And also, what are some of the cities that people should go to while going to Kazakhstan as well? And what are the hot cities in Ukraine, like for nightlife and entertainment? So for those 3 countries there, what are the best cities for men going there to make sure they go to? Because I know you spoke about Russia, St. Petersburg and Moscow, but as far as Ukraine goes, what are the cities that people should go to, and also Siberia and Kazakhstan for guys out there?
You're on mute, Theo.
Sorry. Okay, so the capital of Tencent. I forgot the name of it. Kazakhstan. Okay, I'm kind of looking on it. So the capital of Kazakhstan, you want to go there. That's the only city you want to go to. In Ukraine, you can definitely go to more cities. Again, it's just Kiev, Kherson, Dnipro, and Nikolaev. Nikolaev is kind of boring. For Russia, for Siberia, they actually are. There's really nothing out there. I mean, I mean, there's some fun things out there, but it's really boring. I'm not gonna give it something more and say that it's like St. Louis is like being like, Central Ohio or Central Virginia. There's really not anything out there, man. It's just, if you go to train or you go on the airplane, you're just gonna see a huge amount of various of nothing being out there. That's what they have. So I'm not going to try to hype it up or say it's something else that it actually is not. Kiev is fun. Kazakhstan, I forgot the name of this. I'm brain dead right now. But I think Tencent or something like that. That's actual capital. It's fun. It's there. I was there in '93, and there's just really good food. That's what I like about it. I mean, the kebabs were great. They have this blend of food that I've never really that I've never really had before. They don't care that you're black. They'll look. They don't see many black people. They'll actually look, but they're not going to go after you or anything. They're pretty open.
Awesome. Do you have any more questions, Selector? Are you okay for the meantime?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, what would you say is like the top cities to go to in Ukraine? I've heard a lot of great things about Ukraine. Ukraine's I actually went to school. One of the guys when I was out in university, he was a classmate of mine, was from Ukraine as well, and yeah, he had a lot of stories. But like, what would you suggest for like a black male? Like, what's the top cities a black male should go to when going over there?
Kherson, you should go to Kherson, and then you should go to Kiev. Those are the two areas. You need to avoid Odessa. If you have a girlfriend, however, already, and you're in a relationship, then go to Odessa because it's very beautiful. But for getting a relationship, Kherson is probably your best place, and then Kiev would be right afterwards. And you want to be in the center of the city both times. With Kherson, you want to be as close to the universities as you can get.
Okay, you said Odessa. What's going on over there? Is there like something going on over there that like, what's going on over there?
The women are super finessers.
Oh, okay. I see where you're coming from on that standpoint. So like, what are they, like some, I don't know, IG models over there or something like that? Or like, what's going on over there?
No. They have the ability to talk with you and try to get money from you.
Oh, okay. So they're okay. All right, fair enough.
Selector, he mentioned it quite in depth in the stream, so maybe you came in late, but you can, around 1 hour in, he gives a lot of intel regarding Odessa. So when the stream finishes, go back in the stream and you definitely see his intel on Odessa.
Okay, most definitely. Okay, and also the nightlife. Like, what would you compare that nightlife to, or what would you say the benefits are of that nightlife over there in Kiev and Kherson over there? Like,
it's fun. It kind of reminds me of Miami, to be honest. It's rather vibrant, especially in the summer. There's a lot of outdoor bars, a lot of outdoor restaurants. You can walk from place to place and be drinking with your beer out, and they don't care. It's just fun. The women wear really sexy clothes in the clubs. So you'll see some women who are absolutely strikingly gorgeous. So yeah, we want to stay around Krashatik, which is the main street there in that area. You don't want to go that much further away from it.
Okay, and I have one more thing. I heard you mention Rush V and his experience in Ukraine.
Yep.
Like, can you elaborate on exactly what he was? Because I know he's like gone off the map, and a lot of his stuff is like it's hard to find. So like, can you elaborate on exactly what he explained? Because he's like, I know he's way ahead of his time. He's like, or at least he was breaking down that game when nobody knew that game or what was going on over there at that time. So can you explain exactly what he stated about Ukraine and what guys should take from that?
So what he stated was that Ukrainian women would not hook up with him. They wouldn't just do random hookups, which is entirely correct. And that's because they are sick and tired of foreigners coming in who are sex tourists. And so they saw him as a sex tourist. And every time he was trying to hook up, he was just trying to just do something. He failed. So he finally hooked up with a Ukrainian. And that was only because that Ukrainian woman was westernized and knew what he wanted. So she wanted it too, and she went ahead and hooked up, like just a random hookup. But the other girls would not. It just was not happening. So what he did was he was in an English school, and he actually hooked up with one of the teachers, but he was promising to have a relationship with her, and it didn't work out. Like, he was lying to her, and so she was crying about this. And even her sister, Rushvi's sister, was saying that he was a pretty low human being for what he did to the teachers there. And that's high level of manipulation. You just don't want to do that. And so that's just all it's going to do is it's going to reinforce that idea is that the foreigner is this sex tourist scumbag. So that's why it's hard to do that hookup. Whereas he said in Poland, he was able to hook up very easily, which is true because Polish women are a bit easier. They have that hookup culture. So does Prague, Czech. In Prague, it's a lot easier to do that as well. But Ukraine, no, they're watching you. They're like, oh, you're just another jerk coming over that want our body. They
I
know
think that's
you.
a good thing. I think that's a good thing, in my opinion, because she looks after her body. She doesn't sleep around. She vets you very well compared to what happens in the West, where women have like 200 bodies, and because of that, keep away from there. I feel if a woman does that, I think that's wifey material, in my opinion. She's more likely to have low body counts, more likely to be clean, well headed, well mannered, and come from a good family. So I have no problems with that, to be honest. I'm actually tired of this culture. A lot of brothers just want to be with a good woman, go home to a good woman, instead of doing all that hookup nonsense. So yeah, so thanks for that, Theo. I would like to stay on the line. I'll come at you later on. I have a question for you. Who is that? What is that?
This is Rush V Bang Ukraine.
Yeah,
I actually
yeah.
have it. You can't get it anymore. I actually do have it.
Let's not mention him too much because there's a lot of controversy around him. So no more of that guy. Now, I have a question for you, Theo. This whole good guys finish last that is very prevalent in the West. In America and the UK, women talk bad about good guys. Is that the same case in Ukraine and Russia, or are good guys appreciated there in those countries?
Okay, so I would say above the age of 25, it's a lot easier for the good guy to be successful because the woman finally has woken up. She doesn't, after 25, she doesn't want a bad boy. However, I just want to say this. Some of the women there are stupid. And so you need to ask her about her previous relationship. So if she says, like, I know this one woman, she said, I was with my boyfriend 7 years and we lived together and we never got married. If she says something like that, she's for the streets. Get rid of her. What you want is a girl who had no longer than a 1-year relationship with a guy. She was living with her mother or her parents most of the time, and she didn't marry him because she didn't continue the relationship because he didn't marry her. She's actually marriage minded and she actually can make a decision. So that's good. You don't want a woman who says like I was with a lot of guys or I experienced some fun in Dubai or Egypt. That's a CC writer. The CC writers tend to self-identify in Ukraine. But you want a girl who's like no more than a year relationship, lives with her parents, has kind of an okay job, maybe $1,000, maybe $1,500 a month. That's the kind of woman who's going to be wanting to get married and make a kid.
So are you saying, should we avoid women who live by themselves and who live with roommates? They're more likely to be promiscuous.
The roommate culture isn't really so prevalent in Ukraine. That's a good question, and I've rarely heard of women saying that they have roommates. Most of the time, if they actually need to split the bill, they just live at home. Done. That's free rent. If they live by themselves, like Angelica, she lives by herself right now. It's because she doesn't want to live with her mom. And it's like I've told her, I said, "Are you going to be a writer? Because if you are, I'm going to get rid of you." And she's like, "No, I'm not going to do it." Yeah.
And you make sure she won't do that because you have detectives on her, right?
Yeah, that's right. I actually do.
Theo, you're a legend. You are a legend. All right, okay, can I speak about bad boys? What do Ukrainian women and Russian women define as a bad boy? And are bad boys prioritized over good guys in those countries? So 2 questions for you.
So in this case, I would say the bad boy is like a mafia type, or a guy. I hear about this one quite a lot. The guy who is kind of good looking but has no job at all, and she's actually paying for everything.
Damn.
That story I've heard a lot, and also the alcoholic. The guy who just suddenly became an alcoholic, and she stayed with him, hoping that she could change him, and it does not work. And there's cases of real domestic violence are kind of prevalent in Russia and in Ukraine. So yeah, Yeah, if that kind of stuff is going on, case by case, you can listen to it, but you may be like, nah, you've had too much damage. I'm not even going to deal with you. If you there's plenty of girls who have never had that kind of problem and they're ready to be with you.
So basically, good guys are sort of seen in a better light than bad boys in Russia and Ukraine.
The girls do not want a bad boy. Especially for a long-term relationship, they do not want a bad guy. They want the good guy. I would say particularly after the age of 25, when the lights go on in her head. Yeah, that's when they want the good guy.
There you go, brothers. That is the gospel right there. We have women in America and the UK still dealing with bad boys up until their mid-40s, their mid-30s, and they're wondering why, things aren't going right for them in dating. Something is not going right in the West, which is why stop dealing with Western women. If you're an American brother, stop dealing with American women. Get your passports. Make frequent trips to Vancouver, to Montreal, to South America, to Ukraine. Stop dealing with American women. Same for UK brothers. Stop dealing with UK women. Right? I know if you're a UK brother, right, and you are a stereotypical UK brother, you rap, you wear your trousers below your boxers or whatever nonsense. Women actually check for brothers like that. But despite that, don't be entertained by UK women. Get your passports. Okay, let me go on to Mr. International. What's up, bro?
Yo, what's up, bro?
I'm doing good, bro. Are you enjoying the live stream so far?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm over here cooking my dinner and stuff, man. But that's besides the fact, man. But I'm enjoying it a whole bunch.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Do you have any questions for Theo?
Yeah, man. I just want to talk about. Let's talk about. So I heard you bring up Prague and the Czech Republic and stuff like that, and I just want to know your opinion on those places. Also about Europe itself, because Europe has a lot of different places. From my research and my knowledge, from Vienna and yeah, just like this is a whole bunch Czech republics and even like you said, I heard somebody say the stories about Poland. Since we're talking about Europe and stuff, there's just so many countries that are great for us to travel. So I just wanted to hear your opinion on some of those.
Okay, so again, international passport is in the UK, so he might be able to back me up on some of these things. I say all Western Europe is no go.
Yeah.
And it's because the women are so highly what is it, feminized? What is it, feminist? They're gynocentric. You can't. I mean, they really are for the streets. They're just the problem. And the thing is it's not just me who's saying this. It's the men who are there who are having these problems with the women. And I saw that again when I was in France in 91 and in 94, 95. And I was talking to French men and they were talking about these problems. And I was like, they're like, you would think with the amount of money I got that I could actually date in Western Europe, which is true, but just the quality of woman is bad. So I'm like, there's no way. Czech, there tends to be rather gorgeous women there. I don't recommend it as much, but I have two friends who actually got married in Prague, and they have successful families. They have no problems with it. It's just if you want a structure where you know that you can actually get someplace with the relationship, Ukraine and Russia is kind of in Europe, as far as I'm concerned, is the way to go. And in particular, Ukraine. Don't do Romania. The Romanian women, as far as I'm concerned, tend to be a bit too passive and a bit too submissive. I've had problems.
What's wrong with that?
It's you don't know what's there. It's kind of weird. I'm like, who are you really, man? I don't know how to deal with you. So if you're gonna deal with them, you actually need to go there for an extended period of time and get to know them. I just feel Ukrainian women are so much easier to meet, make a relationship, and actually think about marriage or long-term relationship.
Okay. So you've been to Czech Republic and Romania before, Theo. Okay. We need to have a live stream regarding those two countries if you're up for it, bro.
Sure, I can do it.
Awesome. Okay, I'll put down the checklist. Any more questions, International?
Yes. Also, regarding Odessa, even though I wasn't here for it, one thing that I learned from my research, and I've been researching all these countries for at least 3 years, so I actually do know a lot about it. Well, because IP, one thing that we really gotta talk about, and we do talk about it a lot, but man, the ratio from women to men in some of these countries is ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Girls are just like, they're literally like fighting over a man because, first of all, either their man is too submissive where they're at, or there's not enough men to go around with. So I just wanted to talk about that. But also, like these girls, like speaking of Odessa and stuff like that, from my knowledge, they're like, you ever see those websites where it says you can find your wife here? 9 times out of 10, they're from the Ukraine and stuff like that. They literally have setups where blind dates and stuff like that. A whole bunch of women, like 100 women coming to this club, right? And they're literally trying to meet men and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird and kind of sketchy and stuff like that. I just wanted to talk about that. But also, like, I heard you was talking about Western Europe and stuff, but Eastern Europe, for instance, IP did a video about Croatia, and that's a prime example. Croatia and even like the Norwegian places, man, there's some beauties up in Europe. Just Europe in general, man. I know there's a lot of places that are westernized, but man, there's tons of places where you're gonna meet a blonde hair, blue eyed girl that just drop dead gorgeous. So.
Yeah.
Right, but the thing is even though they're drop dead gorgeous, they have a financial and work environment whereby unless you're bringing like $150,000 to $200,000 a year, you're not going to crack into that environment. So this is, again, me, I said before, I make well over $250,000 a year. I will not engage in those environments because I'm not going to win. It's just not going to happen. I'll be friend zoned, or I'll be maybe an option. I have to have intense game, and it's just better for me to go to Ukraine or Prague or St. Petersburg if I want to, or Siberia, and I can actually get much more. I can actually get a priority. I can actually get something going on. So you have to think about that in the end. Swedish women are gorgeous. I particularly like Northern Italian women. I ain't gonna score with them. I know that. So I didn't go there.
Why is that? Why don't you think you can score with Italian women? That's interesting.
Because I'm gonna have to have fluent Italian, or I'm gonna have to really understand what they're really wanting. I might be able to smash, but that's usually not what I'm into. Usually more into something more long term. I'm gonna have to use money. And they have real options there, and I'm going to have to integrate into the culture. I have to actually sit there. I'm not going to want to do that. It's just, even though they're gorgeous, it's just not. No, there's too many factors going on, and I'm not going to do it.
Awesome. Is that International? Do you have one more question?
Well, no, but I did want to say I like how he brought up Siberia, and man, I'm telling you, man, yo. IP, you gotta talk to your guy right here. What's your name, man? You've been on for the past couple of days, Hawaii and all that stuff. What's your name, man?
Theo.
My name is Theodore. Yeah.
Yeah, Theo, man. Yeah, IP, you gotta talk to him because I don't know if you unraveled everything that he got to talk about, but man, there's so many countries in Europe, man. It ain't even no joke. And like you said, a lot of them are not even worth going to, but there are some that are worth going to, man. And those are stories to talk about.
Thank you, Mr.
Yep.
International. Don't worry, me and Theo will be having a lot more live streams in the future. Theo is a very, very well-traveled brother, and I definitely want to have him more on my channel because not only is he well-traveled, he also invests in stocks and crypto. He's a model man that, I think brothers should actually model themselves after because he actually has detectives on his girlfriend while she's like 5,000 miles away from him. That's the blueprint for brothers. When you're far away from your girlfriend, make sure you stick detectives on her. All right. All right. Thanks for that, Mr. International. Let me go on to he was next in the queue. Thomas Demahin. How's it going, bro?
Bro, what's up?
And all good, bro. Are you enjoying the live stream so far?
So far, so good, man. Classic video.
Thank you very much, brother. What questions do you have for Theo?
Also, how you doing, Theo, man? How's everything so far?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying this. I like educating men on this and telling them what the options are, and just showing them that outside of Western Europe and America, there are some really good options out there.
It's crazy because the West likes to, especially UK and the US, they like to put themselves on a moral high ground. Whenever I hear like talk shows like The Real, The View, just talk about how women from other countries are being oppressed by the patriarchy. I'm just like, you're just chatting a lot of BS. There's like a BS meter that's very full. And I'm like, you just stop talking. All right, just stop talking. So one question I have is regarding Russia. What's Russia's perception of black men? Because there's one interview I watched. Sorry about this. Sorry, give me like 10 minutes.
All right, bro. I think his mum came through. I was like, why are you still awake at 5 a.m. UK time? It's pretty late over here. Very late. Hey, Thomas, you should be in bed, bro. Carry on, bro.
I just woke up. So, what was that? Yeah, there's one interview I watched. It was with Reggie Yates, who was this BBC presenter. He was in Russia, and he was just like, touring around Russia. And what I heard a lot of controversy. So I just wanted to ask Theo, what's Russia's perception of black men so far?
Theo, you're on mute.
Okay, so the perception of black men tends to be positive. They don't really have a real negative view of us. They like the NBA. They like hockey. They tend to like some degree of black culture, but so it's just not negative. That's the big thing on there. Some might know about the drug culture, some like that kind of stuff, but they just don't care. They have problems with drugs, narcotics, and alcoholism right in their own country, so they don't really care about you, like what the media perception is. As long as you are legit, educated, talk to them on their level, they'll be very open to talking to you.
Cool. What about the 80-20 rule? Does it apply in Russia or other European countries? Because I know France doesn't have it. They rejected the Western ideology. Even the French president said, we don't want any wokeness from the West, which was a lovely thing to hear. So does that apply in Russia? Wokeness and the 80-20 rule? Oh, cool.
No, it doesn't. But again, you can't go there and say that like Western countries are superior, or that capitalism is the way, and that communism is wrong. You'll have trouble there. I mean,
Oh,
because what you're talking about is that something that is core to their history in the last 100 years is wrong, and they're going to look at you as a foreigner talking crap in their house. So you don't do
Nice.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Awesome.
just say your culture is beautiful, your people are beautiful. Tell me more about you. That's it. Don't say anything more than that.
oh, that's good,
Very,
man.
very good point, Theo. Is that all the questions you have, Thomas?
One more. I've got a couple of more, but I'll stay on the. I like to stay on the panel and listen more. One more I have.
Okay.
In terms of like knowing more about like the Russian history, where's the best places to go for tourists?
Ah, that's a good question. I like Russian history, like a lot of the World War II information in St. Petersburg.
Wait,
I loved it.
sorry to cut you off here. I know I was expecting the answer. I want to go far before World War II. You know, like when the Russian Empire was still around, like the Tsars. You know, like
Even the
Alexandra.
Terrible and all that stuff.
Yeah, Ivan the Great. Yeah, you know, one of those ones. Yeah, is there like a museum for that?
That would be in
Yeah,
St. Petersburg.
that
Would
St.
be
Petersburg
Okay.
and Moscow, they've got plenty of that.
Mhm.
Go to Red Square.
Ah,
Yeah, I've been there like twice. No, yeah, I was there twice. It's beautiful. There's a lot of history there. There's a lot of information. Uh, but for the most part, just read a book. I mean, kind of blunt, but yeah, I just read books about it. It's, I mean, there's some really, a lot of cathedrals there are really beautiful.
Oh, it looks like Theo's had some connection issues. While Theo fixes that, let me just tell every brother to make sure they acquire knowledge, because it seems to me Theo is a very, very smart individual. Now he's back. Okay, let me pay man. Okay. Hey, Theo, you back, Theo?
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know why it dropped off. So a lot of the cathedrals are really beautiful there. But I'm just saying, like, the thing is that the Soviet Union destroyed a lot of cultural areas, and then World War II destroyed a lot of areas as well. I mean, they suffered a pretty traumatic war. And so if you're looking something like really cultural, maybe it's there, maybe it's not. There's a lot of Soviet stuff. I mean, that's there. So you have to keep an eye on it. I mean, the thing that I really like, to be honest, is Russian art. And they sell that on the street, and they also sell it in like boutiques and fairs all over the place. And I like going there, and kind of fun. So that's my recommendation. But in terms of culture, maybe you don't. There's more Slavic culture actually in Ukraine than there is in Russia.
Awesome. Thanks for that intel, Theo. Thanks for that, Thomas. I need to move on to the next panel
Cool, man.
member. So I think it was Irizere. How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's good? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. You okay, brother?
Awesome. I'm feeling great, man. I just wanted to come on because a lot of people thought I was trolling. They get to see who I am. Yeah, man, because you got to keep it a buck, right? You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I got two
brother,
questions.
Hold on, brother. Are you new to my channel? Are you a new subscriber?
Yes, I am.
How did you come across my channel?
Do a Google search. You know, I'm a disgruntled man like the plethora of men on this live stream. So I decided to come through.
And what was the first video you searched for and watched on my channel?
I'm sorry, I can't recollect in the moment. I'm sorry about that, you know, but I do like you and I did subscribe to you, man. So I hope that's good enough for you.
Before you go, so it's just for my research purposes. Hold up. How long have you been watching my content for?
I say about 2.5 weeks, roughly 3 at most.
Awesome. All right, thanks for that, brother. What
No
questions
problem.
do you have for Theo?
All right, 2 questions I got for you, Theo. How you doing this evening?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, I'm having a good night.
Great. Awesome. Okay. First of two questions. When it comes to depilation, you know, removing of the hair from your body, do women do like Brazilian waxes and stuff like that on themselves over there in Russia by default? Or do they leave it hairy down there? I know this is crazy, but I have to ask this.
All right, man.
It kind of depends. Most of the time they're natural. They don't really have a need to do that. So yeah, it's natural.
All right, cool. And one last question, Theo. See, I'm a good troll, right? You know what I mean? So the next thing is, do they believe in the one-drop rule, Jim Crow law? So when it comes to miscegenation, you know, which is creating a kid outside of your race, basically as a definition, when you go there, basically, do they say, oh, the child is black, it's not mixed, it's not half Ukrainian or half Russian or half Kyrgyzstani and half black? No, do they say, oh, I'm so much into black culture that the child is just light skin, it's black? Do they believe in a one-drop rule there?
Okay, let me try to explain this. So the Mongolians took over Russia for 200 years. And they, of course, let's say that there was a lot of women got pregnant by Mongolians during this time. Mm-hmm. So they're aware that their blood is not pure white. And so there's this country, of course, called Belarus, and that means white Russia. And those were the ones who were not, they were not impregnated, or they didn't integrate. There were no mergers with the Mongolians. So first off, they understand that they're not pure white group. Okay. Next, they don't really care, like this concept, like this crap we have in the West of the one-drop rule, stuff like that. They really don't have that over there. So with communism, they basically taught that all the races are equal, all people are equal. They have one united movement towards the communistic ideal. I'm not going to get into politics of that. The result of that is you have a lot of women who are like, hey, as long as you're a good guy, I'm available at 7. You know, and they let it go. So they're actually much more willing to date. I mean, I had this huge conversation with this gorgeous blonde over this, and she was like, yeah, you know, she doesn't really care. So they don't have the one-drop rule. They don't say, like, you're this part or that part. I've actually asked people about this. I don't really go that far. The most I ask about is, are you Ukrainian or Russian ethnically, and what do you speak at home? Now, from what you speak at home, this is important because you actually get to know what their real thinking is. So if she says, for example, I'm half Russian, half Armenian, and I speak Armenian at home, that means there's probably an Armenian father around. And you need to know about this, because if you're going to ask her, if you're going to ask the father for marriage or something like that, you need to know about Armenian history, just the way it is. Same thing for Azerbaijan. Azerbaijani women are some of the hottest women I've ever seen. They're hot, and they have their own culture, their own country. You need to kind of know what's going on if you're dealing with them as well.
They kind of look Persian, right? Because they're not too far from Iran, right? Right. So they kind of have this Armenian Persian look. Yeah. Yeah,
they've got that. They've got this mixed look, a Persian and Arab kind of together with some Mongolian. It just is like blend of hotness. So you kind of just talk to them and say, hey, you know, are you available at 7? I mean,
actually, let me come in here, Theo, because I think Charles Jones brought up a very good point. Our international passport is the American mentality. If dudes are going to travel outside the US, they need to leave that mentality at home. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
So exactly.
Let me address E Irize, bro. You know, the one-drop rule question. I think that's an American mentality, because even I have a problem with that over here in the UK, right? In America, if one person has 1% of black blood, that person apparently is black, even though that person may look as white as the next person in Europe. To me, that's wrong. But because that person has 1% of black, that means they're black in total. Please do not bring over any Western mentality to foreign countries. We cannot allow that kind of thinking to ruin foreign women. It's already bad over here in the West. If it starts being bad abroad, I'm going to go crazy, brother. I guarantee you, all of us will go crazy, because it's too much now. We are already dealing with low value women every day in America, in the UK. We cannot allow that to permeate and poison other women in South America, in Eastern Europe, in Asia, and other countries. So please keep the American
I
mentality
agree.
in America. All right, brother? Is that the last question from you, bro?
Okay. One more. What other question do I have? Oh, okay. Here's another thing. Like, since you've been to these countries, right? They don't have this disease called trichomoniasis, right? That fish smelling,
What?
disease. Because the thing is, American men and American women have it. It smells like protozoa. The protozoa emits this nasty fish smell, trichomoniasis, right? I've been to 41 different countries in 25 years. I only smell that with American women or women who fucked American guys bareback.
Yo, okay, please mind the language. No swearing. I've mentioned it many times. Please do not swear.
Oh,
on my
I
channel.
apologize. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
brother. And the questions you're asking here, I don't know about that. Zach, is that Theo? Is that a respectable question? Because no, bro, please. Hey, I'm gonna have to drop you off the call, dude. Because I feel like
It was an accident.
dude, don't unmute yourself when I mute you. Okay, if I mute you, it's because you're trolling. Okay, do not ask stupid questions on my channel, and don't act stupid. Humble yourself on my channel. I'm not even playing anymore. You guys are going too far with this. Do not play around.
I wasn't trolling.
Hey, dude, you're getting banned. F it. This is a message for all you trolls out there. All you guys asking dumb questions, I will ban you straight away. He asked two stupid questions, and he starts shaking his head like, I don't know what's happening here. Do not troll on my channel, or you will be dealt with accordingly. So let me bring in Zach Hayes. How you doing, Zach? You right, bro?
I will say one thing.
All right, bro.
Just let me get this one thing. There is, like, some of the women are aware of black porn in America, and they will ask two questions to me, which is, first, am I really heavily endowed? And the second one is, do I expect to do anal? And I've had that question more than once abroad, and I have to tell them I think I'm okay endowed, and no, I do not want to do anal.
Good answers, bro. Good answers. Let me move on. Sorry, before I go on to Zach Hayes, Sai Saichi has been very patient. What's up, Sai?
Thank you. It's about time. I've been waiting on this. Please hear up. All right.
Hey, your audio is very bad, bro. We can't hear you.
Give me 1 second. Headphones. Let me turn them off.
All right. While you fix that, Sai Saichi, let me move on to Zach Hayes. What's up, Zach? You okay?
I'm doing fine. Sorry you had to get to that point, man. I know it's a little frustrating for you, man.
Yeah, a lot of trolls here. Hold on. Artificial Bumby, why so sensitive, bro? You're banned as well. Because dude was trolling, so you're banned as well. Because any troll, you're getting banned. I'm sorry. I've got 10 minutes left in this live stream. Any troll, you're getting banned. I'm not even playing anymore. It's pretty late over here. I've taken the time out to get Theo to take his time out as well to give you guys intel. So any trolls on the comments on the panel, you will be banned no matter who you are. Carry on, Zach.
Yeah, so I just wanted to know, IP, right? I was having a passionate conversation with my dad just about liberalism in the West. So do you care if your woman works a 9-to-5 job, or like, do you still want that conservative background, conservative upbringing in terms of her being a stay-at-home mom? Like what are your thoughts on that? Do you feel, I don't mind my woman working hard and making a lot of money. I just don't like when she talks that, or when she brings that masculine energy. It feels that like she's just like she's on my level as a man, or if not even worse, like she can kind of emasculate me because she makes just as much money, if not even more? How do you feel about women making just as much money as you or even more? Like, would you put yourself in that situation today, though?
You're on mute.
I'll go ahead and answer. I'll answer that for myself first. Straight out, if a woman makes as much money as me, she's not even consideration. There's so many women who don't. So why would I even consider that kind of woman? If she, typically speaking, in the West, the more money a woman makes, the less likely she's going to get married. That's the way life is. I'm going to go for sexy and hot, and educated and wants to reproduce. Regarding, again, that kind of work, kind of masculine energy, this is like a Western idea, Western feminism, and you haven't really met a feminine woman who actually wants to stay at home. Now, I'm going to make this point again with the UK. With the UK, the woman had better work because there's, again, the divorce laws, and then you also have just standard of life. In order to protect the man, the woman needs to be working. I'm totally down with that with the UK. I understand it. I've been to the UK for a few months. I've seen it with my own eyes. I understand it. So again, it's a kind of a difference of opinion. If I were making under $100,000 a year, I wouldn't consider a woman from Ukraine. I would be, maybe a Latina or something like that, or maybe a woman from Ukraine, Russia I meet in America, which would be more difficult. That may go to over at universities or trying to figure out a way that I could actually date her. You're talking about a much more complex situation. So if you're talking about actually having the money to go to Ukraine or Russia and actually date and actually doing street game there, that means you have a pretty stable cash flow and a pretty flexible environment. So in that case, you're looking for a kind of unique woman. You have to be able to back that up. If you're talking about a woman making more money than you, a Ukrainian woman, if she's making more money than you, she's going to look at you weird. Like, why am I with you? That's it. You're not going to get anywhere. That's my point.
All right, awesome. Thanks for that intel, Theo. Jack, any last questions for Theo, Zach? I'm going to end the live stream in 10 minutes. I'm going to go through everyone once more, starting with you.
I mean, I'm done with Theo's response. I mean, I actually wanted to hear your response if you would like to answer, but if you don't have, if you don't want to answer, it's fine.
My response for which question, bro?
So basically, I asked him, do you mind? Like, what are your thoughts on just dealing with women, whether it's in Ukraine or just in the West, who make just as much money as you? Like, would you put yourself in that position to deal with a woman knowing that she makes just as much money as you, and there could be she potentially bring a certain amount of masculine energy to the relationship? Like, would you even put yourself in that position? Because I don't mind if my woman works. I want to have some type of interdependence. I just don't want her to feel like that she's on my level, or that she can emasculate me because she's making just as much money as me. I think there needs to be a balance. That's just me.
That's a good question, Zach. In my opinion, right, because I live in the UK, and same for you, you live in America, cost of living is very high. So if we're both earning 100K, I really don't care, because I need her support, because you can't raise a couple children by yourself on one salary in the West anymore. It's just too expensive. Okay. Now in other countries such as Russia, Asia, whatever, I don't really care how much money she makes. Like, I want her to make a decent salary that can support herself and contribute to the household. If she makes the same as me, I don't really care, as long as she's feminine for me. So I will tell her, it's cool that you make the same money as me, but you must be feminine. You must act like a woman. All that stuff that you hate, man, you're a feminist, I ain't for it. I will make it very clear as to what I want in a woman. If she disagrees, she can leave the relationship. Set your terms early, Zach. All right? Your girlfriend can make more money than you, but you have to tell her, if you want to be with me, this is what I want from you. This is what I want from you from a woman, or else I will leave you. I'm a high value male, and other women are chasing after me. So you need to make her know that there's competition to get you as well. So make it very clear in your relationship that you want her to be feminine, handle the household, be a woman, be kind, and you'll be good, bro. Okay.
Absolutely. And just I want to say, this is going to just be quick, man. Like, I can hear from the tone of your voice that you've dealt with a lot of years of just putting up with nonsense. And I feel you, man. Like, it just gets to the point where you're not necessarily giving people ultimatums, but you're just giving them a warning. Hey, listen, I'm going to treat you the way how you want to be treated. But if I'm not getting the respect that I deserve, then you can leave. It's that simple.
Definitely. Instead of me actually speaking to them, I've just stopped dealing with Western women in general. That's out of my choice. It's just become too much. And even despite me telling them what I want in a woman, they can still change up on you. They can still have bad behavior, and I'm not here for it. So thank you, bro, for that, Zach. And is that the last question you have, Zach?
That's it for right now, man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Now, let me go through to Sai Saichi. What's up, bro? One question only, Sai, if that's okay.
That's fine. That's fine. I know you deal with a lot international. I just want to make sure before I speak, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, bro.
Beautiful. Yeah, it was my headphones before. Sorry about that.
All good, bro.
So I wanted to ask, since we're talking about Eastern Europe, Theo, do you have any experience with Poland?
Polish girls have been problematic with me, both in the United States and in Poland.
Okay.
I've just had much more difficulty as a black male dealing with them. I wouldn't necessarily. You can if you might hit a gold mine, and then you get this woman who's like just totally into you. But it's harder to get the gold mine. Whereas in Ukraine, it's like there's gold mine plenty all over the place. So, yeah, I'm just saying, I wouldn't recommend it. They tend to be xenophobic.
Okay. I say this because after doing my little Tinder experiment a while ago, I did pretty well in Poland as well as Ukraine. But I did want to ask, and this doesn't just apply to Poland, but just Eastern Europe in general, I've noticed, first thing, just, obviously, like how feminine a lot of these women are in comparison to where I am, obviously, being in the U.S., but specifically Massachusetts. But second off, I wanted to ask about what you mentioned in regards to how, when you go out there, you don't want to bring any of that Western stuff out there with you, specifically in regards to race relations, right? And I mentioned this last night when you guys were talking on the whole Japanese situation, where in America, I'll notice girls will look at me when I go on Tinder, I get no matches, right? But then I'll look at like my bare minimum kind of like nerdy looking white roommate and he's getting matches. But when we go out in public, he doesn't get attention. So I'm like, what the F? Girls are looking at me, they're not looking at him, but on Tinder, he gets a match and I don't. That makes no sense. And the second I switch my Tinder over to all these other countries, I get matches. So I clearly know what's going on. But when I put my Tinder on Ukraine, it was very fascinating because not only was I getting matches, but I saw the girls, very feminine, very in shape, this, that, and so forth. But getting to the point, one thing that really caught my attention was how it seems like there seems to be this dynamic where, unlike in westernized countries, these women don't overvalue themselves and they feel this obligation to actually provide a certain level of value. Now, what do I mean when I say this? I'll give you an example. So I was kind of chatting up this one girl, and we were kind of just talking about how different, cultures are in the U.S. versus other parts of the world. This girl went to my gym, and she was from Ukraine. You just kind of meet people. And she mentioned how, if the girls in the U.S. were to come back to my country, they would never actually be able to get a boyfriend. Like, I was so shocked when I first came here, this, that, and so forth. And she was like, the expectations from when I'm from in regards to how women are supposed to act are so much different in comparison to what it is here. American men seem to have so much more of a lower standard. Whereas if I were to go back home, act in the way that these girls act here, I would never get a boyfriend. Do you agree?
120%. I definitely agree. Fundamentally, a lot of the Ukrainian men, it's almost like they're born red pill. And the way they act, like simping, it's there, but it's much lower. And so if the woman doesn't act in a certain way, they're gone. They're just out. If she's overweight, if she doesn't have she can't cook, if she is not feminine, if she's doesn't have her hair done, manicure, things like that, she doesn't have a date. It's gone. It's done. Over. The other one too, if she's a single mother, forget it. She will almost never get even attention anymore. She won't even be a plaything. They just don't tolerate single mothers, and so a lot of those single mothers are definitely looking abroad. Whereas in the United States, as you well know, there's women going around justifying and talking about why like men should be dating them, like us dating a single mother. Like, oh, you make over $250,000 a year, or you should go to a single mother. That kind of crap would never happen in Eastern Europe. It just never is unheard of. So yeah, the women there, like, they just wouldn't survive. Same thing for Japan. They just wouldn't survive.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you, Sai. Sorry, bro. It's pretty late over here in the UK. I would let you speak for some more, but I need to go to bed. I'm sorry.
You're good.
bro.
You're good.
I'm tired, bro. All right, but call in next time, okay? Thank you, bro. All right, let me go straight to opportunity for one last question, bro.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, no, bet. I just wanted to actually come in and say, hey, thanks for the stream today, man. Thanks for putting in those overtime hours, man, because I know it's late over there, and I appreciate your live streams. And thanks, brother, for coming on here and sharing that wealth of knowledge. That's all I got to say.
Thank you very much, opportunity.
Anytime.
Keep safe in Israel, bro, and please call in next time, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all brothers stay safe too.
Take it
Yeah,
easy,
see ya.
brother.
Thanks.
All right, let me go to El Selector for one last question.
Yes, I'll selector. Yes, for Theo. Theo, can you just break down very quickly to guys, because I know International needs to. His time is ticking, right? So, can you just break down for guys the type of physique that they will expect when they're going over to places like Ukraine and whatnot? And like, how are the women built? Are they built with like, are you getting curvy women? Are you getting tall, like, you know, like slim women? Are you getting what kind of women are you getting over there? Like, what when you fly out there, what exactly are you expecting?
Women between 5'5", 5'8", or between 165 to 172 centimeters. Between 47 to about 52 kilograms, no more than that. I would say that their max weight would be 110, maybe 125 pounds, somewhere around there. They're going to be very curvy. If they have a curve, it's probably going to be in their chests, not so much in their hips. I mean, it can happen if they do squats, but usually not, because Ukrainian men tend to like, you know, big chest, no hip. It's a typical white boy thing. So that's what they have. If they like black guys, they're probably doing squats. And if they have Armenian or Azerbaijani blood, they have a hip. So I'm just telling you. Also, Crimea. So yeah, that's what you're going to be typically looking at. Well-educated, well-cultured. You're talking about a woman who's born to be a lady, and she's going to act like a lady and expect you to be a man and act like a gentleman towards her.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Theo. Sorry, one question.
Yeah, thank you very much, International. I know you gotta bounce out of here. So yo, thank you very much, bro, and keep up the great work you're doing, International. Thank you very much, Theo, for the intel. Thank both of you guys, and everybody's enjoy your night and stay safe out there. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, brother. Take it easy. Look after yourself. Let me go to Thomas Demahin for one last question. Go on, Thomas.
Thanks, bro. Theo, I have two questions wrapped in one. One is the Russian mafia still around? And is speaking Russian an advantage for foreigners when, meeting up with Russian women?
Okay, so the Russian mafia is still there. You need to be aware of them. And that's another reason why I say don't go into the outskirts. You want to stay in the center. You want to stay in like westernized areas. That's just for your own protection. That's why I spend so much money while traveling, so I don't have to worry about the mafia. What is the last one?
Is speaking Russian an advantage?
You have to. It is so necessary. The more Russian and Ukrainian you speak, especially, well, at least Russian, the better quality of girl that you'll get. However, I just want to say, too bad you don't have I couldn't show the photo of Angelica. Angelica speaks fluent English. She's never been abroad. She got a master's degree in English. She hates Ukraine and she wants to leave, but she kind of likes it being there. So she's kept in this quasi state. We only talk in English. That's it. Even when I want to go to Russian with her, she's like, no, we're going to do English. That's it. So if you get that kind of girl, which is there, and also I saw them in Japan, but you get that kind of girl in Russia or Ukraine, you're fine. You don't need to have the Russian. But those girls are rare. They're there, but they're rare.
Okay, thank you very much, Thomas,
Hey,
for those
man.
questions, and thank you for answering those questions. Thank you, Thomas.
Thanks, bro.
Okay, J Bones, one last question towards Theo, please. You're on mute.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear. One last question, please.
No questions left, man. Just Theo, thanks a lot. Usually, brother IP does great classics with the interviews and with the live streams, but I can definitely say that you're basically the top notch that we've had so far. This is a lot of information. Yeah, this is definitely a lot of information, and I'm pretty sure we're not done picking your brain, so you should probably stick around and help out, just a little bit more with us. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. We definitely appreciate it, and brother IP, another classic, bro. Another classic.
Thank you very much, J Bones. I appreciate those kind words, brother. Okay, Mr. International, one last question towards Theo.
All right, so
You've got some background noise. Turn on your TV or whatever.
yeah, I'm not gonna outside anyway. Ask a question real quick. All right, so I got one question. If you had to pick any place in Europe for the Black American or the Black UK man to go, where would it be?
Kiev.
Out of all the countries, all the cities,
you'll have the best if you can only like get all factors, and if you're not really speaking the language, if you're talking about a black man going abroad, doesn't have much experience, doesn't have the language, doesn't have that much money, like money is questionable, Kiev would probably be your best choice because you could probably survive there longer, and there's U.S. embassy in case you screw up, and the airport is right there. If you have a little bit more money and game, then Kherson would be number 2. But I would say most of the time, Kiev would be number 1.
Awesome.
Appreciate it, bro.
Thanks for that question, Mr. International. Appreciate you calling in, bro. Thank you, bro.
All right, peace out, bro. Great.
Take it easy, brother. All right, take it easy, brother. Okay, so I think, Zach, did you have anything last to say? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm good right now. And yeah, Jay Bones, I was trying to respond to your question. Yeah, man. Hit me up. And right, thank you.
Awesome, Zach. Okay, I'm going to end the live stream now. I want to say a big thank you to Theo WAF for this classic live stream. Theo, because you're the guest, do you have any last words you want to say regarding Ukraine or anything else at all, bro?
I want to say that it's one thing I didn't say. Slavic women are very sincere and very passionate. And if they like you and you're actually successful with them, they make excellent wives and mothers. It might seem a little hard or like kind of not exactly easy. Like I said last night, I said a lot of easy ways of getting a woman. It may not seem that way, but if you understand, if you invest some time to learning the culture, the language, even just like 1 year of Russian, you will go far. And if you're successful in getting a wife from there, you'll have an amazing wife who's basically a super showpiece. When you walk down the street with her in your country, you'll stop traffic. So Angelica was with me here. She was actually with me in LA, and she wore a black dress. We walked down the street, and cars were stopping to look at her. So I'm just saying, again, you'll have that kind of woman, super feminine, but you have to work for it. Not exactly the easiest. And again, they do like brothers. There's a lot of them who do like brothers. You just have to keep your eye out, keep your game, keep your health, your money, and make sure you're on point, and then you will be very successful there.
Thank you, Theo. Actually, how many languages do you speak, Theo, out of interest?
I speak 4, so French, Russian, Japanese, and English. I can communicate. I speak broken Ukrainian, but I can read it really well. And then I can read Korean as well.
This is awesome. Yeah, brothers, make sure you learn a second language or a third language, even fourth. You know, it's very important. I definitely would recommend learning Spanish, Portuguese, and Japanese. Spanish because most countries in the world speak Spanish. Portuguese, again, most countries in the world speak Portuguese. Japanese, to meet dime Japanese woman. Okay, brothers. I'm going to end this live stream right now. Huge thank you to Theo for his time for this live stream. If you want to get in touch with me, here is my social media platforms. I'm on Facebook. If you send a request on Facebook, I will add you to my exclusive Facebook group. So please definitely request to join my Facebook group. I will vet what you say on the live stream, so make sure you're not a troll. I also have a Twitter page. I strongly encourage you brothers to follow me on Twitter and DM me on Twitter. I need your retweets to push out what's it called again? Push out my content. Yeah, my content. I'm really tired over here. All right, and also I am on Instagram as well. Follow me on Instagram. Send me a DM regarding stocks, crypto, traveling, whatever. Jay Khan says most countries speak Portuguese. No, they don't. Well, the ones that matter. So Brazil, Portugal, all that stuff. Angola as well. Yep, Angola as well. They speak. What's up, Mr. International?
Hey man, I got a great question. I know I should have asked it before, but man, this is a great question. I think you'll like that and answer to yourself.
What question is this, bro? You gotta be very quick, bro. Please, very quick.
All right, so I see he was talking about having if you bring your lady from Europe over to America, she'll be like an eye piece. So, hey, what's your opinion on bringing women back to America, like just overall in general, even if you have to touch on different countries? Like, is there countries where you could take the women from the country in America and they there's less chance of them being westernized?
Okay, so generally speaking, because I had this conversation with a few Ukrainians, Russians, Japanese, and Brazilians before I had this. I was actually online tonight talking to them about this. It really matters if she understands how to monetize her beauty. If she understands the value of her beauty on the market, then you shouldn't be dating her anyway in the first place when you go to her country. You do not want to stay in her country. Firstly, like if you're dealing with Russia or Ukraine, you can stay in Brazil, but Russia or Ukraine, you do not want to live there. No, that is not an option. If you live there, it's going to be a hard life for you. You're going to want to go back home. It's not a really good option for you. So you're going to wanting to choose a woman who has strong family values in the first place. The same thing for Japan, Korea, Thailand, the Philippines. If she has strong family values in the first place, she will come over and have no problems. She will not turn hoe. She will not be CC writer. She will not be a feminist. She'll keep her family values and everything will be okay. But you need to understand the game. You can't just be like, oh, you're just like a Russian girl or you're like a Brazilian girl. I have the option. I can take you. It's gonna be good. No. She might play you straight out. It tends to be that the women who are the most visible are the biggest players. So you want to go in the back of the room. You want to go in the back of the club. You want to talk to the women who are a little bit more demure, silent, and feminine, but they're educated. Those are the ones who are going to stick around with you, and they're not going to cheat on you or do hypergamy when they get to your country.
Thank you very much, Theo. No more questions from the panels. That's it, everyone. I'm tired over here. Please hit the like button if you've not liked this video already. Your likes will be much appreciated and will push out this video for the YouTube algorithm. If you've not liked this video, please like the video. Also, when I do drop this video on my YouTube channel, I encourage you, brothers, to please comment on this video. Just say great stream, international passport. Thank you, Theo, for your intel and your information regarding this topic. Comments also help with the YouTube algorithm. Guys, I'm signing off right now. Thank you very much, Theo. Thank you to every single member of the panel and everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take it easy. Have a great week. And I will see you guys on my next video. Peace out and take care.
See you guys. Yep.
All right, guys. I'll see you.
All right. See you, everyone. Take it easy. Bye. Bye.
All right. Sleep well, guys. See you guys.
See ya.